Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Seriously, we love doing what we're doing. We love doing. I love recovering money. We've recovered millions of dollars for people over the years. I mean, truly, 40 years on the radio here in Denver alone, and just kicking ass, along with, of course, the previous TV career I had here doing consumer advocacy. And here's the thing. What really frustrates us is when we come across problems we can't help with. This hour brought to you by Buy and Build. I'm going there today at 4 o'clock. Wait till I tell you about that. Anyway, we have a guest today, John Fuller, Fuller Law. While he is a personal injury attorney, he is chiming in and helping me out as a co-host, and our expert today, Mark Major, is off. We also have a common man today we'll get to, and all of your calls. And I encourage you to call in the beginning, and I promise you I'm going to get right through. You know, I've asked people for suggestions about the show, and some of them I won't do because you cannot put things that large in the areas you suggested. However, I will take some of the tips, like just a little shorter on some of the calls. People got a little pissed, John, that I was spending a little too long on calls lately. I don't know. I think if they're interesting, I'll spend time. Anyway, let me get right to it. Buy and Build. I'm going there to pick out all my bathroom stuff. I'm actually meeting a contractor. The thing about this is, Buy and Build, you can go directly or you can have a contractor go, and you'll find below wholesale. No lie, below wholesale. If you're doing a home improvement project, you got to stop there, no matter what it is, okay? Cabinets and floor coverings and like laminates, hardwoods. You have bathroom fixtures. You have electrical fixtures. It's all wonderful. It's 4800 Washington Street, 303-295-6022. A big, ugly warehouse like the owner, and it's a great place. And I joke with Courtney all the time about that, and I hope he's not there today because he might get angry. 303-295-6022, 4800 Washington Street, Buy and Build. So let's go to the phones. One woman held a long time, so I want to get right to her. She held last week, so I want to get to her. And then we'll go to other calls as well. 303-713-TALK. This show, if I had to define it, is about someone who just doesn't feel right about something. Something is just not setting right with them. Did they get ripped off, lied to, cheated? Who knows? Maybe you just want to ask opinion. You need advice. Or you have somebody that we need to stop from hurting others. And so what is going on with you and CenturyLink?
Hi, Tom.
Hi. What's happening, Ann?
Well, I, through the incompetence or something of an employee at CenturyLink, my voicemail got turned off.
Was it all of a sudden or after a call to them for something, or just one day it didn't work?
No, I called them to extend my loyalty discount that I've had, and it was expiring, and I wanted to extend it.
All right. And then what happened? After that, voicemail gone?
Yes.
Why?
Well, because she switched plans on me. I had 14 services, and she switched me to a plan with 14 services, but she didn't check to make sure they were the same ones that I had.
So this should be a simple fix. Come on. We can't call and just have them turned back on? Did you call?
No, they did. They did get it turned back on.
Okay.
But I lost all my messages. And I had some very important ones from my granddaughter when she was a little girl.
And we've had this happen before with people. They do not have backups.
Okay, well, I was hoping your CenturyLink angel could.
You know, we'll try anyway. But Daph, who's filling in Mark and Suzanne off today, I'll give their address out if you want to run by the vacant house. I'm just kidding. They have people there. Listen, Daphne, we do want to let's ask our CenturyLink again, but they told us they don't have enough room to store all of those deleted messages. And for anyone listening, please download your messages. You know, it's not difficult to do. You can sometimes forward them. If you forward them to a cell phone or if you save them by cell phone, sometimes when they're on a cell phone, you can transfer them easier to your audio files. But somehow, some way, even if you have to hold up a dang speaker, put it on a speakerphone somewhere and then record it. But don't leave it on voicemail. Voicemail is volatile. So we have a common man today. While I'm waiting for other calls, 303-713-8255. We have calls coming in. I'll let you know whenever a line, when we have full lines, of course. 303-713-8255. Common man, Aaron, and I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Is it? Let me take a stab at it. Bergquist?
Close. Bergquist.
Bergquist. Bergquist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Alan Bergquist. What kind of name is that? What heritage?
Swedish.
Swedish. Bergquist. Okay, so Aaron's 24 years old, young man. We have a lot of younger male listeners, and you've been listening since 18. What turned you on to the show? Why did you listen?
Well, I'm working out in the oil field and listen to the radio all day, and
so talk radio, oil fields. We've had other oil field workers tell us they listen. Mm-hmm. Did you wear a headset and while you're working to listen?
No, I got a radio in the cab.
Okay, you just turn it on.
So
what do you do in the oil field?
Primarily an operator of a road grader, sometimes foreman, supervisor, depending on the job.
Is it getting busier now in the oil industry or not?
It's picking up a little bit, yeah.
Is that directly correlated with the price of oil? Can you guys tell when the price of oil goes up, you guys are busier or not?
When it goes up, it's kind of a slow creep that we slowly get busier.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of a noticeable effect when the oil prices drop.
It's a quicker,
almost like an instant,
really, like,
slow
hey,
down.
Like, slow down, we don't want to pull out oil at this price.
Yes.
Interesting. So, we have a guy here who is truly in the thick of it when it comes to the oil industry. He'll know if things start slowing down, he'll say, oh, oil must have gone down. By the way, the only requirement to be a common man, if you just want to come in and look around, there's nothing really fancy. You just want to see what it's like. We, as we say, pluck you from the great unwashed, and we let you bask in radio glory, and all you have to do is be a long-time listener and love and adore me, and that's it. Now, by the way, Aaron, seriously, please chime in. Really, just chime in if you want to say something. And, of course, our expert John Fuller will chime in. John, anything big in personal injury we should know about in the law or seasonally or something, anything that comes to your mind. You tell me one thing for sure, but I want you to first unload, and then I'll tell you the one thing you tell me that sticks to me.
I don't know that there's anything big that's come out of the woodworks in the last 6 months or so. The drum I constantly beat is that I am forever more amazed at how many minimal limits policies there are out there, and incidences where people don't get med pay and don't get uninsured motorist coverage, and they just simply don't know,
and they're screwed,
the strength of those coverages. And
it's not expensive. If we can do anything today, it's to encourage you to get those extra coverages that will help you 1/3 of the time. And that's when people don't have adequate coverage, they'll help you. So MedPay, that's a basic.
It's so important.
No matter whose fault it is.
I just had a client the other day. Pays. You bet. Absolutely it does. And it pays first before everybody else does, and before there's any fight.
And they don't take subrogation. They don't collect.
You do not have to pay them back. It's a beautiful thing.
And it doesn't affect your rates.
Correct.
Okay, so MedPay. Why wouldn't you get it? What else?
Well, why wouldn't you get it? Because you're falsely told that if you have health insurance, you don't need it. They don't understand the interplay between the MedPay and the traditional health insurance. All of your traditional health insurances have copays and deductibles and all sorts of out-of-pocket stuff that you're going to be nailed with.
MedPay nothing.
Not a dime.
You pay, everything's paid for. What else? MedPay and underinsured or uninsured. Aren't they both the same? When you have one, you have the other.
They're practically the same,
But
yes.
When you have one, you have the other, right?
Correct.
They call it basically?
UIM.
Okay. And that is when somebody else doesn't have the insurance, it covers you. Now, one thing we do have a confusion about, I'll get to, because an email just came up about it, and we'll do it in a little while. So one thing that you've armed me with that I think is important, you've armed me with this. You said they call it an accident because it's an accident. You never know when it's going to happen. Therefore, protect yourself. Always be prepared to record, to take photos and notes. And nowadays with phones, you got all of those.
You literally have a professional quality video camera in your pocket.
And a snapshot and a place to take notes.
Absolutely.
Take a picture of that license plate.
Listen, it's so critical. And I get that sometimes it's impossible for you to do that. If you've been seriously injured, you get a pass for it. But every other accident in the world, step out and take photographs of the scene, take photographs of the placement of the vehicles, because sometimes people make mistakes. Witnesses get things wrong. Police departments get things wrong. those photographs never get it wrong. So protect yourself.
Let's talk to Janet. Janet, what's happening? Janet?
Hold on. I just wanted to let you know that I went to the car care thing at Pro Auto on Saturday.
Oh, you went to the clinic. Wonderful. And did you go alone?
I brought my teenage daughter. She's 15 and going to finally get her license when she's 16. She has her permit.
That is so cool. If you could, Janet, could you hold on? I'd like to just get some feedback on that quickly. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. It's important that you educate yourself in all things, no matter what it is. Educate yourself. Like with radon, for example. You know, so many people think that radon is a deal killer. Oh, my God. Thousands of dollars it's going to cost me, they think. Thousands and thousands of dollars. But it's not. In fact, if you have high radon levels, for $899, you can mitigate most cases. And even when it's more, in like 10% of the time, it won't be much more. Absolute Radon Safety, I say, gives you absolute peace of mind. So call Absolute Radon Safety, whether you need a test starting at around $20 or you need to fully mitigate before you sell, or if you're buying a home. Don't let it kill your real estate deal. Absolute Radon Safety, 303-880-0682. What a freaking idiot. Okay. Then get Al on now and talk about it.
There's a couple of trouble spots in the highway drive down South Cruise. You're still working on that multi-beam.
All right, since I teased him, I thought I can get him on, get the spot done, be done with it. Tell him it'll be a spot just to say how it went.
They were both roll over there on northbound steer at I-25.
She hung up that quick?
I just don't understand that. Okay, so the bankruptcy date or the sale date of the house. Well, investigating complaint about a home sale, I noticed that John and Vivian Bailey sold their home.
6/17. Oh, I don't have the exact date. June is of 17.
Okay, hold on.
Sold
in June. In June of what?
2017.
2017. Well, just thinking about this, what's interesting about this sale as it relates. As it relates to the bankruptcy case, is that the home was not listed in the Bailey's bankruptcy file, March 20, 2007. More interestingly, that home was transferred out of their names to family members just 4 months before the Baileys filed for bankruptcy. Yeah. Huh? So when was that? The date of transfer was...
Like I say, it was December.
Okay, never mind. This never mind.
12/26/06.
Ah,
That's when. That's the date of the fee. That's the fee right there.
the actual date
Right there.
that the quit claim fee was recorded. Actual date that the quit claim.
I got Al up on 7, and he's going to mention the one in Littleton this coming weekend.
The actual recording date.
12/26/06.
Thank you. Of quit claim deed is 12/26/06.
Yep.
And you'll see how your unique kitchen and bath fantasies will become your reality. Come on.
For $10. I don't know if you need to know that.
Wait a minute. Okay. And they filed for bankruptcy. When did they file for bankruptcy?
March 20th of 07. 3/20/07.
07 or 17?
More interestingly,
07.
07. More interestingly, that home was not. Was that wrong?
And she said
On
Other good and valuable consideration.
Okay.
she said her lawyer told her to do this.
Bankruptcy
And it doesn't write.
was filed. I'm sorry, again, filed March what?
20th
Okay.
of 07.
2007, and the date of the quitclaim was the recording date. Oh, yeah, I got that. 12/26/06. Yeah. As you can see, this does not compute good.
But you're 10 years out. What's the statute of limitations?
Is that non-fraud? They
Bankruptcy
told me there
fraud.
is none.
You sure?
No date, but maybe there is.
Let me double check.
There's got to be, though. You're right.
I thought fraud, just like taxes and stuff.
I don't think so. I think there's a date. 5 years. Federal statute of limitation in most cases for bankruptcy fraud is 5 years from the date of discharge or the denial of bankruptcy proceedings.
They're getting away with everything.
Appropriately during a festival to prevent sex crimes, they started their own.
They're getting away with everything.
Don't tell me how to dress.
Can we go after the lawyer?
More Reverend Talk Radio with Michael Brown.
I'm guessing the statute of repose would cover that. So you know how that works. It's like 2 years is the statute of limitations for the attorney. But
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
No case is more than.
Welcome to the show. So, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Give us a call if you have a problem, a question, or a complaint. You know, as I said, one of our biggest problems is when we come across stuff we can't do anything about, and we'll have such a case to talk about and discuss. But I wanted to talk. This woman said, hey, Tom, I went with my daughter. We had a great time, and we learned a lot. So I wanted to talk to Al about it. Al, we're getting good feedback from this seminar that you guys had. You really gave some really good information. She couldn't hold, but she said that she really appreciated the detail you guys went into. So what do? Do you demonstrate things?
Yeah, so we talk about like those big things that people have. When a check engine light comes on, what does it mean, number one? But what do you do? I mean, we've shown them the scan or what that all looks like. We talk about the proper way to jumpstart batteries with young people and stuff. They were like going, at first when they got that, what is this going to be about? They loved it.
Yeah, what's exactly involved in all of this stuff? Yeah. And so you had one this past Saturday at which store?
It was the Denver location. We did from 9 to 11.
And you're going to have another one this coming Saturday?
Yeah, at the Littleton location, Tom. It's free. Everybody walked away with something in their hand. We gave away a year worth of free oil changes.
Wow.
Tools, tool bags, all kinds of stuff. So everybody gets something. So it's worth coming. I've got a handful of spots open for the Littleton location.
Okay.
I guarantee you they're not going to be bored. They will love it.
Of course, for all of your maintenance and repair needs, you can call this number. But if you want to register for the forum, and it's really informal and really good. I mean, it's not boring at all. Real demonstrations, actual cars. You're in the shop with your loved one, or come alone, or bring a son or a daughter. And that's 303-PRO-AUTO, 303-PRO-AUTO. I want to talk to my young man right here, our common man today, Aaron. Aaron's 24. Aaron, how'd you learn about cars, or did you not learn about cars? Where do you stand on that?
I learned about cars pretty much all through my own experience.
Just your own experience. Like, what was your first experience with a car?
I bought a 72 MG Midget.
Oh God, that was an impulse. That was an impulse buy. Do you know what? People, when I was a kid, I loved MGs. I freaking loved them. I loved them. There was nothing better than an open, convertible sports car. And I was going to college in Florida. So anyway, an MG Midget. MGs are probably the worst buy you can make in a car. Yeah. And the old Jaguars were too.
So I got that. It was like $350, and I figured I got it when I was 14. It was going to be my first car. I figured I'd have it restored and ready to go, and about 4.5 years later, I finally actually got it done, and I just taught myself everything on that.
So was it a cool little car?
Yeah. Yeah, I got pictures I can show you.
Yeah, I want to see. Did it give you any trouble?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to put some pictures of his MG up on our live feed. We're live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Hey, Rob, what's going on in your life? We have a line open, 303-713-TALK. What's happening, Rob?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I'm looking to buy a travel trailer, and you said that you would get me a better deal than the deal.
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
We put a challenge out that no matter what you want to buy, and of course there's no guarantee, but we said we can beat the deal. And we did this a couple times with different things. We did one time with an appliance and another time with something else. The only rules we have for this, no matter what, we're going to help you, Rob, but the only rules we had were that you really truly had to shop first, and then we would get you a better buy, but you had to have a specific unit in mind. See, if people say, hey, I'm going out, I want to buy a such and such, get me a deal. Well, no, we're not going to go shopping for you. I mean, we're not. But if you have a deal and you want us to beat it, we will. However, in general, we'll help you no matter what, okay? We just won't go out and actually do the legwork. So do you have a specific unit, Rob?
Yes.
Oh,
yep.
You do? And what is it?
It's a Cougar travel trailer. The model number is 33 SAB.
And it's a 33-footer, I take it, no?
30, yeah, I think so. Yep, and then 36 overall.
If not, that would be a dumb system of numbering. Okay, so it's 33-SAB. It's a Cougar. What is that? Is it a trailer or is it a fifth wheel?
Travel trailer, yep.
A oh, you said that. Okay, so it is an actual, a lot of people call everything a trailer. Okay, so an actual travel trailer, 33-foot Cougar, and the model is 33-SAB, right?
Correct.
Anything special about that unit?
No, I mean, it's just a factory.
Where'd you find it? Where'd you find it? First of all, we're going to go first to our referral list. We're going to go to Century RV. So if you went to Century RV already, just tell me. It doesn't matter. We're still going to help.
Yep.
Is that where you got the deal?
Yes.
And
I have another out-of-state deal too.
And
a little bit better.
The one out of state was a little better. What was the one out of state? What price?
$34,600 plus tax.
Now, is it really 34,600 or is it 602.85? Dealers never give even numbers.
No. Yep. 30. Well, yeah, I already did the deal over the phone because I already knew what I wanted. So yeah, 34,600.
Now you're telling me do you have this in writing?
No.
Okay. And how much did they beat? I don't need to know the exact number at Century RV. How much did they beat it by? Couple grand.
$900.
900?
Yep.
Now, have you gone back to Century and told them this?
Yes. Well, they came down another 500.
Okay. So all in all, it'll be about the same when you consider traveling in that, right? To get it.
Yeah, I figured about $400 in vehicle.
Yeah. So right now they're pretty much matching it as far as the actual out of pocket once you get it. But you want to see if you can do a little better, right?
Right.
So their best price at Century RV was what? With the 500 off. With the 500 off.
Yep, 35,500 plus tax.
You mean 34? Didn't you say 34 the first time?
That's the one out of state.
And they're gonna 34,600 out of state, and Century RV is going to be 35 what?
The Century RV is at 35,500.
Well, okay, your math isn't working right, but okay, 35.5, and that was their best deal even after discounting.
Yes. So Century RV's best deal is 35,500.
I get it. Okay.
The one out of state is 34,000.
All right, you hold on, and make sure Daphne gets all of your information, and we're going to see if we can get this deal done. 303-713-8255. All right, so Mark and Suzanne are off having fun. Deputy Daff on the phones, Deputy Dan on the video. What I want to know is, where's Deputy Clint today? Is he off? We need to know that. And then we have some emails here. One email very quickly on, okay, can you please explain, John Fuller, Fuller Law, personal injury attorney, can you explain what uninsured property damage is?
Sure. Uninsured property damage is in a vacuum when you get into an accident that's not your fault. That coverage will pay for the property damage on your vehicle.
But that's for people obviously who don't have collision coverage.
Yeah, the only time you would really want that coverage would be if you're carrying only liability on your car.
And it's not a very expensive car, probably.
Yeah, probably not. In most situations, it's redundant, meaning it's dual coverage. Your full coverage on your vehicle is the exact same coverage.
Well, yeah, but I can see, first of all, collision coverage is mandatory when you have a loan. The lender makes you do it. But if you have a car and it's pretty good, but not enough to carry full collision, but what you'd like to do is be covered if an uninsured motorist hits you, because, John, I'll bet you get a lot of people in there who have a great case and they can get a lot of money, but they don't have a car, and you're not going to buy them a car while they're waiting. And isn't it difficult for them to get a car in between?
You'd be surprised, Tom. That does happen more times than you would believe.
Yeah.
And people's ability to get to the doctors. Let's face it, in my business, documenting your injuries is one of the most important things. So if you can't get to the doctors, it's very difficult to document those injuries.
Never thought about that. And some people put it off, and if you put it off, you hurt yourself. Mark, you have input on that Pro Auto event. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking that would be a great video to have on the podcast.
You're right.
Not only to drum up business, but
just to help people.
I mean, yeah. Well, and I mean, you guys got a unique advantage with all the people that you reach out to, but also, I mean, I used to listen to Car Talk every Sunday. I was just thinking that while I was driving.
Yeah.
You guys do that on Friday, and I love listening to you guys every day, but that Car Talk is just special. And, for you guys to have that unique advantage to, bring all those people that used to listen to the Car Talk in. But
that's cool.
Ramos, he just seems like such a good guy that would be the thing to put on tape, and to have it either fine-tuned or, just to at least get that first one out there.
Thank you. I like the idea. I like the idea. Now, I want to talk about Colorado Tinnitus right now. I'm going to them this week. I am resuming tinnitus treatment. Now, I'm going to tell you something. The hearing aids they have, they do they do tinnitus treatment. What they do is they mask tinnitus, or they allow you to ignore tinnitus after a while, because many times you get this tinnitus, this ringing in the ears, because you're searching for sound. And if you have some poor hearing, that what I call that sound of silence gets to you. And, they know all about this. And what I love about it is that these people are going to help me through a number of different things. For example, they have something called Dysynchra, and Dysynchra is a cure. Now, they're not allowed to say cure in this country unless you go through all the clinical trials, but around the world, it's been eradicating tinnitus, and it doesn't come back. It's a treatment with some sound therapy, and you do it over several weeks, and then the tinnitus goes away. And if tinnitus does not go away permanently, like it comes back in a few years, once you pay for this treatment, you own the system. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. They have a brand new location. I can't wait to visit. It's at Clarkson and Hamden, 3601 South Clarkson, Suite 220. Instead of remembering that, just look for Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. The website, helpforringing.com. Get an evaluation. Get help for your tinnitus and your hearing loss. 303-534-0163.
Every Monday lately, we've been having the craziest lack of calls. Mondays only. I don't know what it is. We used to have the most calls on Mondays. Now it's weird. Monday.
I don't think I've ever been here on Monday.
Monday it's just been weird because we get tremendous calls. Of course, we can't keep up with them. But for some reason, wasn't it last Monday, the same exact thing?
So
and I don't know what it is.
We had a good call.
But it's only Mondays.
See why didn't come.
It's only Mondays in good weather. If it's bad weather, we get it. I can't believe that they probably got it.
I brought that information up that I researched on the U.S. Freedom Checks, if you wanted to talk about that, if the phones are dead.
Okay, Mark's not here. I really need to do it with him.
Okay, that's fine.
But it's a great discussion. So,
it is.
What do you have?
Just that it's, I have to read it.
No, I did the research too. I just wondered if you found something specific.
I did. Here, let me grab it and I'll show it to you. I haven't looked at it.
sounds like multi-level marketing.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
No?
It's just.
It just sounds too good to be true. Commercial.
Or
This is something you can get on your own.
That he's basically pitching a master limited partnership.
Just find stock.
That it's, yeah,
No,
it's
it's not
owning and
really.
operating
Yeah,
oil and gas
MLPs.
pipelines.
You're not really buying. They're not selling a partnership. They're selling a
They're
subscription.
publicly traded partnerships.
Yeah, but that's not. They're not selling that. They're
These
selling.
are income-focused investments that usually carry relatively high distribution levels.
When you hear what this is, it'll fucking blow your
Yeah,
mind.
No,
it's
It'll blow
crazy.
your
So
mind.
that's basically what I think.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
I thought they just put a list of MLP stocks that you can buy.
It is a subscription on, I don't like doing things before I go on the air because then it sounds rehearsed when I go on the air, but, so it's nothing like that. I just don't like talking about stuff too much before I do it. But
Well, they're spending a buttload of money advertising that shit right now.
Or visit their website at evolutionmedicalgroup.com. Thinking about selling your home? Worried about the high commission?
I didn't read the whole thing, but I thought that's what it was. Is just giving a master limited partnership. You get usually a fairly high dividend from it. I mean, but you get a K1 form on it, so it's kind of a pain in the butt if you do any regular income. But I think they just give you a list of them.
That's all they do.
Intelligence and big data to attract hundreds of qualified buyers to your home the moment it goes on the market. And Rex Real Estate charges only 2% total, not the 6% commission your local broker expects. Get started now by calling 720-586-4REX.
I'm presently RV-less. It's a beautiful thing.
you are?
Yep.
Mark just got one, a brand new one. And you know what?
What the fuck is that brand new one?
He went, listen, this Century RV is a pretty good deal. But he goes on his first outing, a little meeting. Refuge Tiger Run. Good idea to do that. So list the squawks, and now I remember owning RVs. You go on a trip. Every time I got back from a trip, I had a list of squawks. I remember that. They're just too fucking complex. Nothing goes perfectly. I never had a trip like this. And I've seen times where we're out there and we're talking about $1 million bus next to me, and a guy can't get a slide back in. And they have to fly someone out from the factory.
Prevo. Like a Prevo, but
I had 4 Prevos. I had my first Prevo. My first motorhome was an American, just a motorhome, fiberglass, but they're beautiful. And it was a heritage or evil. But then I got a used Prevo. No slides. It was one of the original, the original models. It was just one bus. It was a 45-footer, and it was beautiful. And it belonged to country star George Jones. Is he the guy they call? It was George Jones. He's a country star, right? And he had a dog food line. And he had a whole bunch of stuff. He was called something. What was he called? Anyway, so that bus was absolutely beautiful and gaudy like a country singer would have. And I bought it used right from him. Not from his manager. And then Possum Tracks is what he called the bus. Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK. Art of Granite. Art of Granite, I told you I'm going to buy and build to visit. Art of Granite is similar, except Art of Granite does just kitchens and baths when it comes to granite and solid surface and countertops. And I love them. I absolutely love them because of how they do business. At the Art of Granite, you buy all of your material wholesale all the time. All the time. They charge for fabrication and installation. They even tear out and haul away free. And they also do the... let's see, what else? Oh, the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. What's really remarkable, though, you can get a price on the phone. Just give them a call, 303-386-5919. How many businesses give prices on the phone? You call up and say, hey, how much is this going to cost? And they'll tell you, within $100, a few $100, depending on what you pick, all the custom edges, sinks, and cabinets. They have 2, small markup from the factory, 303-386-5919, artofgranite.net. All right, 303-713-TALK,
713-8255, and I can guarantee you this, you will get right through. We have open lines, and it seems to be a squirrely Monday today. Calls come and go. They jam up the rest of the week, so you can get in and talk about anything you want. Now, we do have John Fuller with us, personal injury law, so you can ask anything you want about that. We had a question about uninsured property damage because that is, in my opinion, one of the first things people ask. What do I do about my car? They don't understand that when you go to a personal injury attorney, you don't get that done. They don't go out and get you a fight for your car right away. They're looking for the pain and suffering. I'll bet you more than one, John, confuse what you do. I mean, they figure that's a damage, help me there, but that's not a personal injury, right? I mean, that's really not the personal injury part of it. The personal injury part of it is the pain, the suffering, the economic damages, and that's why uninsured property damage is important if you have a car that's not, let's say it's not expensive enough to get collision coverage, but you can't afford to really be without it. So if somebody hits you and they do not have insurance, this would kick in.
Yeah, the concept of just having liability only is essentially self-insurance. You know, you're assessing the value of the car and saying, look, if I do something to cause this vehicle to be lost, I'm willing to absorb that myself. But if somebody else does, for a relatively inexpensive amount of money, you can be covered under the property damage UM.
Now, I want to bring up another case that we had on the show, and this really pisses me off. People call when they get ripped off or they feel they've been ripped off. This is an odd case in that it really was a ripoff of the system, and the byproduct was also ripping off a consumer. So here's what happened, and I just sent a letter off about this to the bankruptcy trustee. But a woman calls and says, I bought a home, and it did not have an occupancy permit. An occupancy permit is something that the county or the building department issues when your home is completed. It goes through a final inspection, and then you get an occupancy permit. Now, here's the thing about COs, they call them, Certificate of Occupancy. With a CO, it's mandatory when the house is new and you get a loan. But once you've sold that house, bought and sold it a few times, no one ever asks for a CO. Have you ever been asked for a CO at a closing, John, when you bought a house?
No.
No. Most people aren't. But if it's brand new and it was just built, chances are they're going to ask for a CO. So these people did not finance the home, so they did not need to get a CO because they built it. They built it and never got a CO, and the county never shot them down. It was in fair play, right, Deputy Dan?
That's right.
So they had a house without a CO. They sold that house years later to an unsuspecting couple who now, when they went to do a building permit to improve the house, they were told they not only can't pull a permit, but they would have to bring it up to standards to get a CO. So now they're looking at maybe $60,000 to $80,000 in expense in addition to the improvements they wanted to do. So this thing sucks. So they're screwed. We looked all over the disclosure to see, could they get them on this disclosure? Possibly. Possibly. There's something about permits and all of that, but it says within the past year. Did you do anything within the past year? And that house had been completed more than that. So we also found out, even though this has nothing to do with this transaction, this is where you really get pissed. Not only did they rip off the buyers, in my opinion, but they had filed for bankruptcy earlier, 10 years earlier. And in their bankruptcy, you can clearly track a quitclaim deed where they took that house that was completely paid for, an asset worth maybe $300 or $400, and they transferred it to their kids. Then filed for bankruptcy without claiming ownership of that house, and then after the bankruptcy, put it back in their name. If that's not a clear-cut fraud, I don't know what is. So now we have fraud and we have misrepresentation, in my opinion. So I'm writing to the trustees in this case, and John says, well, Tom, big deal. Does everything have a statute of limitations, John?
Most things do. Most things do.
So this person really is free. They're done.
They may be. The standard statute of limitations which is a federal law, of course, for fraud is 5 years.
You know, is that bankruptcy fraud or fraud?
Yes, bankruptcy fraud.
That sucks. I mean, fraud. Now, I can see, you know, a misfiling here or there having a statute of limitations. But clear-cut fraud, man, that sucks.
The only exception would be if the hiding of assets is considered a continuing offense. But I don't know that would really apply here.
Well, they sold it.
That's something. Yeah, they sold it, but they also transferred it back to them after the completion of the bankruptcy. So that's pretty flagrant. Transfer of assets. That's called a preferential transfer when you move assets away from the trustee.
Or a fraudulent transfer when you move it away.
Right. So that clearly sounds like fraudulent activity. Now, whether it would be deemed a continuing activity such to deprive the bankruptcy court, that may eliminate the statute of limitations. So it's not dead. It's just that the presumption is 5 years.
I thought that trustees have more of a fiduciary responsibility to creditors.
It depends, Tom.
And here's what the trustee did in my business bankruptcy years ago. Again, I just like to qualify. I had no consumer debt, not a penny. But here's the deal. What they did is they pull all the stuff you've owned in the last 5 years, and they want to know where did it go. In other words, if you didn't have something listed for sale or that you owned it, they say, well, wait a minute. This says you owned it. I don't see a sale, and I don't see it listed. Where is it? Right? And you don't have the option of hiding something. I don't know did this trustee know what the hell they were doing? Because it sounds like they didn't. And many times trustees don't want to put themselves out because it's complicated. It's difficult.
Yeah. And the other thing,
and they only get a few bucks. They get $60.
They get pennies on the dollar for assets. But here, let's look at it. This is Park County. Okay, this thing could have been sitting on a miner's claim up there. I mean, you don't know anything about the actual nature of that property. It may have been incredibly difficult to track down because a ton of those properties are. I mean,
you're right, mining claims.
Yeah, mining claims, weird situated properties that are not really normally accounted for at the assessor's office and stuff. So there's a lot of layers to the onion.
That's John Fuller, Fuller Law. He's a personal injury attorney, our guest today. If you have any questions, problems, or complaints, give us a call. Or you just want to drop a dime and do a live on-air review, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, I always say about John Fuller, I hope you never need him. And I really do hope you never need him. I mean, that would mean you're in an accident. I say that about Joe Lazzara, a criminal defense attorney. Put simply, I hope you never need Joe. And most of Joe's cases are DUIs because people either try to calculate. Some people are flagrant, okay? They're just abusers. I'd like to believe that the people that go to John are people who just need help. But you know what? Joseph doesn't really judge you. He just represents you. Everyone deserves representation to get through the system. Even if you want to, take your licks and say, okay, I did wrong. I want to start over. Joe Lazzara, criminal defense attorney. Don't forget, the easiest way to avoid these is not to drink and drive. Joe Lazzara, 303-429-6200, 429-6200.
This report. I didn't understand what you said because of miners claim and everything. Why would it be?
Because they're not like a lot and plot listing in the assessor's office. They're these bizarre-ass legal descriptions of properties, and they wouldn't necessarily show up in your normal tax assessor's role.
This is what the quick claim deed, how it came up, and then, like I say, it was a house on there and stuff.
Right. Valley of the Sun.
Have you heard about this place? Really?
Nice though, with a high near 76. Right now, mostly cloudy skies in the mile-high city, and it's 56.
I'd be surprised if half those homes had COs on.
You know what they said when I talked to the county, and that's what they said.
That may
that's
be
the issue.
Exaggeration.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of those homes didn't have, like, that Valley of the Sun, that's like right next to Placer Valley up there.
Okay.
it's mountain property, okay?
Right.
They're, you know, they have questionable water rights. They have questionable power access to some of those lots. I mean, they do, and then they don't. It just depends.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them are really just mired in, and then below that little lot and plot map, you've got 84 miners claims that go
So
on
you,
descriptions.
is it what you bought behind the scenes? I mean, it's not a busy day today, so you're not getting the full impact, but it's pretty cool. I'm having brain farts today for some reason. I don't feel completely with it, and I don't know what it is. So, I gotta tell you something really odd. I have aches and pains. Okay, I've had lower back problems for years, and I have a shoulder problem. And I've had back surgery, you know, that's minimally invasive. I've had some steroid there. And, you know, I just come to accept it, basically, that I'm going to have aches and pains. It's not severe like it used to be, because I work out now, but I have aches and pains. I woke up Saturday morning, zero pain. Not even aches. And I said, there's something different today. And I bent down early in the morning to pick something up, because I get up stiff. I mean, I'm 64 years old, right? And I said, what's up? And I realized I don't have my pain. And I don't know what happened to it. I swear to God, it's like I didn't do anything. You know,
Do you sleep different?
I don't know, but then it hasn't come back. You know, that just Saturday morning I noticed it. But then Sunday, today, so I'm just wondering, I'm thinking, the only thing different in my routine, the only thing was I did exercises. I normally go 3 times a week, so I went my third time, and my second time was Thursday. I would have worked out Saturday again, which I didn't because I had kids, but Thursday. So I went Tuesday and Thursday. So on that Thursday, Stephanie wanted me to go somewhere with her, so I abbreviated my exercise and only did upper body. That's the only thing different. So that means that my upper body, my lower body did not have exercise since Tuesday. So that would have been Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning. So is there something in my lower body exercises? That's the only thing. It has to be something like that, right? So, because I didn't go to a tent revival, and can't think of anything like that.
What do you do for lower body exercise?
See, I don't do anything straight. What I do is the bench, you know, that press for the upper, right? You know that one where you know your squat. It's like a squat, right?
Right.
You're like this, right? Then I do just the one where you sit there and you do this, you know, right? You're lifting, right? And then the other one is where you do the pull down, you know. So you're doing, you know, the push up and then the pull down. And then those 3 are really my only real leg exercise, you know, the muscle part. Everything else I did normally. That's the only thing. But what the hell in a press?
Yeah, but most of those back or those leg exercises are really tough on your back too.
But I did this, but I still did my back exercises, which was lat pull, and then I did another one where you push back on weight.
Yeah, upper back.
Yeah,
stuff.
Okay, one was that, but then this one is that, you know, the one where you sit down and there's a bar behind you and you resist weight like that, right? Yeah. But whatever it is, I'm going to experiment and not do it again.
I think you should just not go back to the gym for
It's
a minute.
Yeah. Rest. I'm Tom Martino, your Troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ can change your life. How many times have you ever heard that? Isn't it a stupid expression, change your life? Except, here's the deal, okay? They can straighten your teeth, correct TMJ and sleep apneas, and they can do it in a record amount of time, 2 years, without surgeries and without extraction. Now, that is incredible. All you have to do is go see them, and they'll tell you about it. You wear some mouthpieces that gradually expand your palate. Then, as your teeth get straighter, you use Invisalign braces. This whole thing, 2 years.
and it's a fraction of the cost of veneers. Veneers can be 50 and 60 grand, just the front teeth, 20 grand. It's a fraction of that even. It's only a few grand, and you have completely straight teeth and a beautiful aligned jaw, so no TMJ, no sleep apnea. Listen, I love talking about stuff, my sponsors, because they really work. 303-690-0100, 303-690-0100. Speaking of which, we said we were going to talk about freedom checks, and I said, you know, sponsors really work. Somebody said, well, Tom, I heard something about freedom checks on your show, and that is not one of what we say our spots. Many times there are national spots thrown in to all shows, and we're going to talk about that because I did some research on it. So I'm putting this down with a star so I don't forget. Brad, what's going on with you? Hello, Brad. Welcome to the show. I'm Tom. What's going on, sir?
Not much. I'm calling about Cleary Building Corporation.
Now, had you called before about this, Brad?
No, I haven't spoken to you. I called and left a message, and one of your guys called me back and told me to call the show. And
right. So listen, I had a Cleary building built years ago, and I absolutely loved it. So I think, you know, it's just a matter of who are the contractors putting it up. The materials are all the same. So when did you have this built, Brad?
It was November of 2017, just like 6 months ago.
Okay, and just tell me the problem.
So it started off, I went in, we bought our house out here southeast of Parker, you know, in April or May of 17, and I went in immediately, you know, to get on the docket to get a building built by them, you know, and gave them my deposit money and everything, and then immediately kept getting pushed back. You know, it went from
all right, now,
we'll be out there in September.
Right, Brad, this is what I call the collection of injustices, meaning that because you have a problem now, you're going back to the beginning and counting them all up. So what I need you to do for me, and then we'll work backwards, I need to know the reason you called. I know you had a terrible experience.
The reason I called is because I do concrete polishing, and I've done concrete carpenter a little bit, so I know how to read blueprints. I don't know how to read the blueprints for my building, but they missed screw holes, and then on top of it, I put all my stuff in there after it was built, and it snowed in that building because they skipped out. They didn't put the seals in that they were supposed to put in between the roof line and everything, and so immediately with those light snows that we get in December and January when it's real cold and they're fluffy snows, all that snow blew in my building. So I called up to Lynn in Franktown. Lynn is the guy's name who sold me the building.
Yeah.
I called him and asked him, I said, what's the deal? I said,
right.
Am I supposed to caulk this? Like, I thought maybe I was supposed to caulk something, you know, that he didn't let me know about or that I didn't read.
Yeah.
I was like, am I supposed to? And he's like, you know what? What some of the people will do is they'll put foam in there.
All right, you hold on. You hold on. I'm intimately familiar with Cleary buildings. We'll talk about this and more. And freedom checks. I'm Tom Martino. Sheridan.
Often people just want to keep talking and tell a story instead of just...
Well, okay. When somebody goes to the beginning chronologically, it's because they've had a bad experience from the beginning. I tell businesses all the time, if you want to minimize consumer complaints, and I don't just mean minimize the number, but when you do have one, minimize the impact, is give them a great experience from the beginning. Even though, in the beginning, people don't pay attention to everything, if a problem comes up, they recall everything. So you are really hitting a playback button, and that playback button better be really good. I especially get this, since John's here, I can tell you about attorneys. If they had a difficult time in communication with an attorney, and the attorney gets them a great result, but one thing goes wrong, they're not going to look at the great result. They're going to go back and look at the beginning problem.
Brent is not available today. He's on TV till 1. Brent Iverson until 1 o'clock. A gal did call in and ask about the freedom checks also. I told her probably Thursday because Mark will be back.
I'm going to talk about it today. I just said I would.
Okay.
So
but I told her to keep listening.
Yeah, that's fine. We can talk about it again, too.
Okay.
Now, listen, Century RV, listen to me carefully.
Yes.
I know that they're under no obligation to do this. Please make that clear. Talk to Ray. But say, look, they went up to your place to find a Cougar, okay? The best deal they got, the Cougar, and it's the 33 SAB. This is the model. Now, the best deal they got from them was $35,500. Now, they went out of state. This is Century. They went out of state, and they got $34,600. If they could beat it, it would be great publicity.
And they'll buy it today. He wants to buy it today.
Right. Please tell them that and say, look, we want to be able to say Century RV beat the deal, and just we don't even have to say the exact price.
Right.
But I would like it to be substantial enough, not just $1. But just to make clear that look.
No obligation.
Yes, we just want to make it look like. Well, it's true, by the way, because Mark did the same thing. We want to show their ability to bargain and to negotiate how great it is, okay?
Okay, and it's Rob, you said.
Ray is the main guy we talk to. Now, you might want to call Mark. He has some people up there, too. But Ray is our primary guy. Okay. Now, Steve Hott is the owner, but I go with Ray. You know, the owner doesn't,
Okay.
So you got rid of your RV. So I had 4 printed. That first one with George Jones, I found pills under the couch and stuff, loads of speed, and I found notes where he would count the gate. I mean, he'd have the venue written down and then have the tape, and and I threw this shit out, and people said, man, I don't know if it would be collectible or not. But, then after that one, I said, I love these so much. Now that I know I love them, I'm going to get a new one. So I went and bought my first new Prego. Now, at the time, this is the time I was stupid and, my real estate days, all my bullshit days before the bankruptcy. And I bought, by the way, I didn't go bankrupt because of spending. I went because of the recession. So I bought, at that time, the new one was $700. Under $1 a day. No risk. It was absolutely certain, but no size. It was still, it was so huge. And they had this is when they did the brand new electronics. And believe it or not, I did not have that many problems with it. I did, but there was always something. Nothing new. I loved that much. I sold it to a crazy person who I didn't realize. No, he was literally insane. And I realized this when I researched him, and I found out that he did a buyback from Winnebago, and they gave him every penny with the promise he would never buy a Winnebago product again. He had to do that. This guy went and parked outside a Marathon factory. Shania Twain was picking up a bus when I did. I mean, I was there with stars, man. There were buses going actually. But like this place is nice, Marathon. And there's a lot of race cars. He parked up there and wouldn't leave unless they fixed something. And he was such a nut. He literally set up and he was from Canada. The guy was, I didn't know this when I was dealing with him. Then he was in my driveway. That's because he, do a little shakedown in the driveway, right? First. And I'm out in the country. And then he plugged me in my barn. And I suddenly realized I can't get rid of him. I mean, he was there. Every time there was something wrong, I said, bro, there's always going to be something wrong. Always. There's always going to be something. He said, but this, you said, was in great condition. I said, look at it. I said, I bought it new. I only have a few thousand miles on it. I said, but I can't guarantee everything. I mean, I swear to God, I'm talking about shit you would, like in the entrance where there's a rubber, let's say a rubber mesh. If the corner was up a little. No, I'm talking about shit you would never believe. You'd say, why is that corner coming? And I thought at first, this is like saying,
a guy like that has money.
Huh?
How does a guy like that have money?
I don't even know what he did for a living, but he was from Canada, he talked with that funny accent, and he was so weird. And I realized when I saw this wife, she's just like this all the time. I can tell that she's held hostage by this guy. I started realizing, how does this guy do it? How does he go through life? It was truly, I was shaking at night with my wife. We're thinking, how do you get rid of this guy? I really stepped in shit. I asked him, do you want him?
Was he plugged into your barn the whole time?
She stayed there for 2 weeks. No way. 2 weeks. And when I finally got rid of them, I said, you're leaving town. And the neighbors are complaining. I had a compliance officer come, and I turned myself in as a website. They didn't do it. I'm like, ask them to do it.
Mornings 5 to 10 on Denver's Top Station, 630 J-House.
I wasn't hiding it.
Right.
Like,
when my daughter was a baby, the gal that watched her, her husband was a pre-bill mechanic. He'd fly out moment's notice, it'd just be like, all right, time to go to the airport. You're out of here. It was pretty cool, their level of service from their buses and stuff.
That was an experience also. And the factory called me and said, how do you get into this company? And all the poo-poo. Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, a consumer advocate for more than 40 years. And in Denver, 40 years. Solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. Welcome to the only show of its kind. We love recovering money for people if money is due, cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. So this hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. John Fuller's with us, attorney at law. We also have common man Aaron. Aaron is an oil field worker. Pretty cool, from Weld County. And he's here to say hi. We love helping people. So you help us help you and help us help others by simply giving out our number. And it is 303-MARTINO 24/7. You can call right now, too, 303-713-TALK. At that number, 303-713-8255. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan. I say that because each loan is ideal for you. They have the interest rate guarantee, first of all, and that really is the biggest problem a lot of people have. Why do it now? The rates were lower. What am I going to do if rates go down? If they go down, they'll refinance you free of charge. It's that simple. And then they also have credit optimization. They can take your credit, and by paying down a certain balance or so, you can get better points. And therefore, if you get a higher FICO, you'll get lower interest, even if it's a few tenths of a point. They one time paid down a card by $140. The customers, they were able to save more than $150 a month. It was a half a point. Now, why did that happen? A half a point on interest. Why did they save that? Because if you're right at the threshold and just one little thing changes, it can give you 20 more points on your FICO. Okay, 303-867-7000, idealhomeloans.com. So let's go on to the phones. And Brad was talking about Cleary Buildings. John Fuller, Fuller Law. You're a country boy of sorts. Did you ever build an outbuilding or have one built? Did you have a service do it, or did you do it yourself, or have a contractor do it?
I built it myself.
Now, most of these pole barns, including Cleary, they're pole barns. They're poles stuck in dirt on a level surface. Some people pour a floor afterwards, but you have a beautiful system, I think, because then you put stringers between the poles, and on the stringers you hang metal on the outside, and if you want a finished look, some people hang metal on the inside or plywood or whatever, and you have a pole building. Brad said Cleary Buildings did a terrible job. Now, I know this for sure. Cleary has great products. So does Morton, so do the other ones. And they're all basically the same. There's that powder-coated steel. The color lasts forever. It doesn't fade. They have the same material for the roof. They have top-notch hardware and doors. And so the materials are all the same. They're all good. So you can't – the only way to screw up an outbuilding or a big building is to do it in the labor and in the put-together. Brad said the first time it snowed, it was blowing through. Now, Brad, these are not necessarily airtight, obviously, but it shouldn't be like big gaps. There shouldn't be big gaps. But when you have a building, it should be pretty much weather resistant as far as rain and snow. But I could see in a real heavy blowing snow, you could get some snow in a building. You know, not.
Can I tell you?
Where was it?
Tell you what they skipped on?
What?
Okay, so the seals all the way around the building, there is a seal that goes in between the roof line and the wall. They didn't put any of the seals in the entire building. They skipped out on all.
What do you mean by a seal? I'm trying to picture.
A
soffit? Yeah, in between the soffit. You know how there's that formed? It's a closed cell backer rod they put in between the roof line and the wall line.
Are you okay? Are we talking? I'm trying to think what he's flashing. Are we talking about flat? Styrofoam.
It's a styrofoam closed cell backer rod, open cell foam is what they use. That's in quotations what they said they use. So
they used open cell?
Yeah, they didn't put any of that in. Snow just blew in there because they hadn't put any of it in, except on the bottom where it didn't matter.
Did they acknowledge that they didn't put that in?
So here's what happened:
did they acknowledge? I don't need the process. When you let them know.
Lynn from Franktown.
Yeah.
Lynn from Franktown told me it was my fault. He said some people will put styrofoam. So I told him, I was like, well, it's not something you guys do.
So Brad, in your basic package, here's what I need to know. Did they do the building according to the contract? I'm not asking according to your opinion.
Not until I hammered them and hammered them and hammered them to get them to come back.
How did they violate the contract where you made them come back? What did they violate?
The screws on the exterior holding all of the metal on is supposed to be double screwed at the top and double screwed at the bottom. They did not double screw.
I don't know what you mean by double screw. I don't know what you mean.
They used half the amount of screws. And layman's terms, between me and you, they used half what they were supposed to use on the top, anchoring the top of the panels, of the wall panels to the building. Along the top roof line, they're supposed to be double the amount of screws they use.
And how do you know this? And how do you know this?
Because I called someone else from Franktown, from Elizabeth, another building.
But no, you said they violated the Brad, you got to help me, man. Let's talk specifics. You said they violated the contract, but yet you said you heard about it from someone else. Brad, did it specify the screw pattern in your contract?
In the blueprints, it does.
Okay, that's what I meant. And the contract referenced the blueprints. Is that right?
Correct. I mean, that's the way you would assume it is.
Well, no, usually it does. I mean, you can reasonably rely on blueprints if they were yours. Did they have your address and name on them?
Right. I took them to the county to have the permit.
No, then you.
I imagine they did.
Then you can reasonably expect them to follow those blueprints. So according then to, instead of saying contract, according to the blueprints, what is still, now I know this is hard for you because you had a miserable time, what is still outstanding according to the blueprint?
That's what I'm calling for. That's what I'm actually calling about, is to see if you have anyone that can come out and look at them, like, because we do big buildings, and I don't know what they skipped on.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point, Brad.
Up at this point,
right?
And here's the other thing. Okay, when the guy came out, because I had a guy from another company come out, and I wanted to hear what he had to say about it and what he saw that was wrong. So when he got out there, he said, make sure every screw that they take out, they're going to need to put it in with a bigger screw.
Right.
They're going to need to order bigger screws.
Right.
They're going to be going into the same screw hole.
Right.
They didn't do that. I know they didn't do that for a fact.
But Brad, the first time they can get away with it, okay? You really can. Listen, wood, it's pretty good. The wood they use, the treated wood, does not expand the same if it's truly treated the right way. And even on raw lumber, virgin lumber, you can get away with it once as long as they don't over-tighten the second time, and they didn't over-tighten the first time. You can get away with one time. I wouldn't insist that every single screw be bigger. But here's the deal. What you really are looking for, and I don't blame you, you want someone to inspect the building and compare it to the blueprints. You want to know, are there troubles that will show up soon, and did they follow the blueprint? And for that, that's a good question. So we need to think about this. Daphne, you need to take Brad's information. And really what we're looking for, if you could take a note for me, we are looking for an inspector and a compliance inspector to compare with blueprints, okay? Brad, that's reasonable, wouldn't you be? I think that's a reasonable request. John,
yeah, I mean, absolutely. They need to build it the way the plans specify, of course.
Yes, of course. And he doesn't know what they didn't do. He suspects they shorted him if they did it on a few. That's why he wanted to tell me about his miserable experience. And I don't blame him. Now, Cleary Buildings lives or dies by its local dealer. I mean, there is no such thing as a Cleary product that is consistent. The only consistent thing in Cleary would be the materials. Chris, welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. And by the way, in addition to John Fuller, we have our common man, Aaron Bergquist, and he's with us today from the oil field sitting in. What's going on with you, Chris?
Hey, Tom. I just want to preface this call. Rest in peace, Art Bell, your former colleague at KHOW.
Now, Art Bell was a national host, and he was out of Pahrump, Nevada, and what a card, what a unique character. You know, in talk radio, it's very difficult to get original, and this man was original.
Yeah, I know you said you used to be a listener, and I was.
Yes, yes.
I was seeing that old. It seemed to be like a little YouTube hit. You and Alan Berg back when you were just a baby.
Yeah.
At Channel 4, and you know, he was kind of interviewing you, but Alan Berg used to say that local talk radio was the last conversation in town, and I see.
Yeah. He would say it's the last neighborhood fence, where you would lean over the fence and talk to your neighbor, backyard fence.
And I kind of see what's trending, not necessarily even with iHeart, but even Cumulus and other
syndication.
But the Denver market still has, vestige of local talk, but I'm seeing even in other cities, it's a dying breed, and I just don't know. Obviously, you want to save money. These are owned by big corporations, and you got to pay and feed.
Well, what they like when they can find content generic to many, and they don't have to pay each individual show. Everyone likes that in the broadcast business, as far as the management side, but there is a need for local talk. And you see, in fact, I think it's the only thing that will save radio locally, because otherwise you can just turn on a satellite station or something or stream something. It's the locality, it's the local talk that makes it, I think, valuable. I'm going to get to all of your calls, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I am so thrilled, and I'm going to this guy. I am so thrilled. This might sound strange to you, but we now have a chiropractor advertising with us and on the referral list that, listen to this, actually does chiropractic adjustments and is actually a chiropractor. I swear to God, that entire industry has been polluted by guys. Once they become a chiropractor, they spend their career trying to not be a chiropractor. They get into the supplements, the magic lights, the phony stem cell therapy, and I say phony because they don't do it, and they get away from what really made chiropractic adjustments. This is a family chiropractic center. I am so happy. Dr. Mike Hederscheit, it rhymes with the name Bright Light. It's Bright Light Chiropractic, and Dr. Mike is a great guy with a family practice. I went to see him. I'm so excited. He took an initial look at me. I'm going to have an evaluation done, and for anyone who wants an evaluation, he's got x-rays on site. He also has this new spinal scanner that identifies curvature and pressures and misalignments. The digital x-rays on site are low radiation. This hands-on evaluation, $50. You know how I'm telling you, these guys, he gives a good name to chiropractic once again, because chiropractors have become a species that I wasn't too happy with. And for an initial evaluation, only $50 to get a complete workup, and then the adjustments are only $50. Now, once the initial evaluation is over, your appointments are $50 for an adjustment. And if you get a package of just 10 or more, you can get $35. Veterans are only $30. We're talking about non-jarring adjustments, beautiful chiropractic adjustments using activators and other precise targeting equipment. This is what I'm used to. This is a great thing for me. I'm excited, okay, because I was thinking, just when I thought the chiropractic industry was going out the window, I find Bright Light Chiropractic. I urge you, if you're looking for one, he's on County Line Road, and it's worth the drive. It's not like you got to go there every day. It's worth it. BrightenYourFamily.com. Read about Dr. Mike. BrightenYourFamily.com. I can't wait for the rest of this, because the whole atmosphere is great, and he will get into the problems you have. He calls himself a neurological chiropractor. That's hands-on. He believes that the nerves fire off and can cause misalignments. And, of course, he's become known for his torque release technique that releases the nerve pressure and allows your body to relax and heal itself. He doesn't just bully your spine into position. This is the real deal. Bright Light Chiropractic, 720-583-4506. 720-583-4506. Not only a great chiropractor, but great prices. I can't believe I found him. BrightenYourFamily.com.
What I do is I do these spots in the beginning, and I draw from them. Like, man, that's... No, I do that on purpose. And then what I do is I take all the stuff together, and I cut little bites, and I assemble them.
And yells at us so we're quiet while he's doing it. No kidding. Centura V is doing the comparison right now. Ray was with the salesperson, so they're working that. Don't forget Brent. And don't forget. Oh, you did? Okay, I must have been on the phone. And that line 1, did you see the little smiley face? Do you know who Chan is? Oh. So
do you know who Chan is?
Warm today with a high near
Chan is like Clint.
Right now, mostly cloudy skies in the high city and
Clint something, huh?
Yeah, she's related.
Oh,
Is he really?
right. He's doing a shout out.
Right.
A big thank you.
What'd you do, John?
Oh my gosh. I think Clint's delivering a baby right now because he's also an OBGYN, if you didn't know. That's why he's not here. The guy has done everything.
He's an OBGYN.
No, he's not.
He might be delivering a shower.
He might be a veterinarian.
You know?
Every time they ask him, oh my gosh, have you ever done this? He's like, yep.
Sure.
A little bit of everything.
Quantity, quality, or value of the work done by anyone else for a better price. They're going to tell you exactly what's
So he used you, this Chan dude used you?
with a written diagnosis.
Yeah, we're not even close to that now. We just had to file a lawsuit on this case.
$39, and they
It's fixing to
guarantee
get
no
ugly.
one will do the same work for a better price ever. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. If you call now, just $39.
You got volume on?
Licensed HVAC
I can take it off.
in your home, fully insured, will treat your home like their own. So now there's no fear. The most you're going to be out is $39. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. FixMyHome.com.
Spring is in the air. Time to think about your lawn and trees. Give Mr. Green Jeans Lawn and Tree Care Services a call. Mr. Green Jeans can make your lawn and trees look better than ever, and at up to 30% less than the other companies. If you need lawn fertilization or aerating, tree spraying or feeding, also irrigation service, you have to call Mr. Green Jeans. Since 1991, owners Bob and Tammy with their son Travis have provided these services. Licensed by the Colorado Department of Agriculture in lawn and tree using only Colorado products. Call 303-426-4945.
When it comes to servicing your car, let's go right to the heart of the matter. Al Aramis. He's the owner of Pro Auto Care for 25 years, and they give a 36,000-mile warranty complete with roadside assistance to each and every customer. You'll also get reminders when your service intervals are due. I love them. I use them. You should too. Denver and Littleton. 303-PRO-AUTO. That's 303-PRO-AUTO or 303.
It's got its issues, but I'm also restoring a 73 Camaro right now.
You should go to the 60s Camaro.
Yeah,
Was the IROC, was that a Camaro?
Yeah.
The Firebird Camaro were so similar.
Yeah, they were.
I've got a buddy that races for little Mazda Miatas now.
You know, that Japanese thing is a big deal, man.
That's a big business.
It's called, well, it was called New Speed, where they would, the online accessories you can buy are limitless.
Right.
Oh, Jesus.
They're like, you know what?
They pump 500 horses in some of those little sons.
So easy to tune. That's
Do you know that? They get 500 horses in that little piece of shit, some of them. Does he have a rotary engine?
I don't know. But their whole philosophy is like you can put a Corvette in the wall and it's $150,000. You put the little Miata in the wall, you can $30,000. You got a brand new one on the line the next day. You know.
Will you survive?
Yeah, they're all roughed in. They have roll cages and all kinds of small cars.
Well, those Miatas, I think they're probably pretty fun to drive. I'm sure they're good to live.
This guy's got more money than God. He doesn't give a shit about it.
Would you fit in one? Yeah.
Well, he's about the same size as me, and then my other buddy is even bigger yet. He's like 260, and they both got in that and went around the track a few times. And I was really shocked I mean, there's got to be some elbow room issues in there. Big in a Miata, you know?
During a festival to prevent sex crimes, they started their own Me Too movement.
Are they?
Don't tell me how to dress.
Are they well-built cars?
For more Reverend Talk Radio with Michael.
They're all right.
They've been out there for quite a few years now.
Yeah, they're little Japanese-made cars. They don't even make them anymore. I think they're all.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I love this email. Hey, Tom, were you really excited about that chiropractor? I guess I went overboard, honest, because I've just been looking for one for so long. Just a regular car. I don't mean, and you know, it's funny, just a regular. Even he's not just a regular chiropractor. I've been looking for one for so long. Brightenyourfamily.com. I'm not going to get into it. I will tell you this, though. We have Century RV working on that price. I'm hoping they can beat it. Hey, listen, if they can't, they can't, right? But they have the largest selection of used RVs, and they have that 32,000 square foot facility in Lakewood. I love these guys. And in any case, I wanted to let you know about CentryRV.com, and they are working on it. So what we did was we asked for this guy, beat my deal. He went out of state and found it a little cheaper, almost $1,000 cheaper, out of state on this one particular model. But they deal. Century RV is a great place, and I urge you to shop them no matter what. Shop them. And they're at just north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims, next to Woodley's. That's their south location. They have a north location on the 119 turnoff to Longmont, just north of Denver. And that's where they also have a service department, 303-453-1111, 453-1111. Okay, let's get to the phones, and let's talk to Chan. Chan, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, not much. I would like to take a second to implore folks listening to use the referral list.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you, really.
We found John Fuller. He's in the process right now. He and Bridget are in the process right now of taking really good care of us and taking care of a problem.
Don't you feel, here's what I want to know, don't you feel good because of the communication they do? That's what I love.
Oh, hell, I was talking to Bridget this morning on the phone. It's clear, it's precise.
Yes.
It's exactly what you need, and John is just fantastic. And we would have gone to some Yahoo on the TV probably. But if it's not for your referral list, we would have never found John Fuller and his team.
Chan, I appreciate it. We take that very seriously. We really, really do. Honest to God. I mean, it's a passion with me. I was the first one doing that. Now everyone has a list, right? So referrallist.com, thanks. And the thing about Fuller, I can tell you, is that you're not in a churn and turn mill, okay? He knows every single case in his house, every single case. That's what I like. And he gets to know each client. It's so important. All right, so, Ann, I'm so sorry you waited. What's going on with you, Ann?
Well, I called to say thank you.
Oh, I love these calls. What happened?
Well, I had a problem with Earl Herkett from Stars Plumbing. He had taken the money that we'd given him to buy supplies and used it elsewhere and pretty much left me high and dry. So Clint had tried very hard to get through the Stars Plumbing.
Deputy Clint is very tenacious, and he tried to help.
He did, and they would not answer the phone. You can't make somebody talk to you. And he talked with my contractor, and everybody seemed to need the $10,000 down that I just didn't have anymore. But we found Rashad Gordon from Pipe It Up Plumbing. He got done in 3 days what that man from Stars Plumbing didn't do in 4 months.
Well, you know.
And he worked with us on the cost. And I just wanted to say I appreciated you getting involved.
Well, Ann, thank you for calling us. We love to hear how things end up, and we do appreciate Deputy Clint and his tenaciousness, and also Deputy Daff and Deputy Dan and Deputy Greg. We have some cool people here. We really do. Let's keep going. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So far, Common Man here. Aaron, feel free to chime in. Please.
Yeah.
Anything particular you hear on the show you don't like when you hear it, or something you particularly do like? Anything on or
When
you know,
people
you
call in and they're trying to explain something to you and they say, you know. Like, no, you don't know until you're done explaining it.
Well, do you like details when people start from the beginning and do the details? Do you like that or not? As a listener, you're a 24-year-old guy. Do you like detail or not?
It's good, but I think, it works better. It's more efficient for the problem first. And then you get to the details.
I like working backwards. So, give us a call at 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What I love about Mondays, there is one benefit. After a long weekend or a weekend, you can call and get right in, because Mondays are usually slower and laid back, especially when the weather's good. And you can also call us. Now, you usually call with a problem, question, or complaint. This is something I haven't done in a while, but since it's a little slow, this will be fun. This is your chance. Why I'm special. Why I'm special. If you've been listening since 18, you've heard this before, Aaron. Why am I special? Now, what you can't do is call and say, I am special because I am an honest contractor, okay? I mean, yeah, we love honest contractors, but I want something special, whether it's a service, a product, something different, or something unique about you. Like, I am special because I can see people's auras. I want something, or I am special because I have this product that does this and no one else has it. 303-713-TALK, and William just hung up. He's getting disconnected or something. I was just about to go to William and Home Depot. Now, we have had this problem that we talked about, by the way, with the bankruptcy, okay? We did talk about it.
Yep.
And they are beyond, we believe, the statute of limitations. We talked with John about the statute of limitations. Now, this is a case, what would you do? You have a home you bought without a certificate of occupancy. Now, that is not beyond the statute of limitations, is it? When did they close on that house?
It was in 17.
So it's not...
June of 17.
Okay. Here's the question. Okay, we got them technically on a bankruptcy where they transferred the house out of their name and then back into their name, and it seems like they're dishonest people. But that doesn't help this woman who bought the house. I mean, that part of it is more like, okay, we also found this about you, but it doesn't connect directly to why she called us. She called us because she bought the house from them, and it never got a permanent certificate of occupancy. So my question is, and Dan and I and Mark, we've been racking our brains. Is that fraud, or is it misrepresentation, or is it something you think the buyer can go back on? There's a lot of things wrong with the house, but the house never got a certificate of occupancy. John, if you bought a home and you found out later on you wanted to put up a deck or something and you went to get a building permit, and in the research they came back and said, Mr. Fuller, we can't get you a permit. In fact, you don't have a certificate of occupancy. Would you feel the house was somehow misled, or you were misled?
Absolutely.
Because could you argue it's not merchantable?
I don't know about merchantability, but I think it's a clear misrepresentation of the habitability, perhaps, of the house.
Because we found in the disclosure statement something that could work, but there's a reason it doesn't work. We'll talk about that in a minute. Sam, you wanted to talk about radon mitigation. What did you need to know, sir?
Yes, sir. I know in Colorado that there was some deals floating around about whether or not they were going to make it mandatory or whatever.
Yeah, it's not mandatory.
Correct. Yeah, so basically the levels came back high. Is it a scam, or
how high are the levels, Sam?
Just a couple of points over the I think it's the regulation is like 4.1 or 4.0.
Yeah, 4.
Now here's the point. Here's the point. Okay, radon is as important as you want to make it. Now, if you have someone stickler with their health, they'll say we want no high levels. You'll have other people say, you know what, people have been living with radon forever. It is listed as a major cause of cancer. I don't know how you feel about it personally, but I don't think I'd want children in an enclosed area with radon gas. I mean, it's just one other thing. That doesn't mean I'm going to, be crazy about it. So that's why when I did the commercial about absolute radon safety, they're on my referral list, just look them up. I did the commercial. They start testing at just $20, and they mitigate most areas for most homes, $899. The reason I say that is because that's the biggest problem about radon. People have the big unknown in their head. Oh, my God, what is it going to cost? And they put a price on it. And they can do most of them for that. And, in fact, even the ones that are more complicated are only a few $100s more. So we do not mind those. Now, I want to give you an update on Centeno Schultz. We had that wonderful seminar, and they answered a lot of questions. And I urge you to call for an evaluation if you're looking for true stem cell therapy. And I mean the real living deal, because they harvest stem cells at the time of the appointment, of course, once you agree to have it, and then they deliver them with imaging. They're all MDs, and they're soon to open an office in Lone Tree. I am so excited. Call Centeno Schultz if you have a pain in the neck, a pain in the butt, a pain in the back, shoulders, hands. They can even repair ACL tears. Please get an evaluation from the real deal before you move forward. 303-963-9201, 303-963-9201. That's Centeno Schultz.
On lives, I have a lot of some that I don't need, like Arctic Granite, and others I hardly any. You will be the one better judge of that. So if you come across a bin or a cart that doesn't have a lot, maybe you can just choose to send me one or two.
More than 30 years in all areas of business, except when it comes to the IRS. I refer then to Larson Tax Relief. If you owe back taxes, if it's been years since you filed, these guys
So John, what did you use the RV for?
Well, we started out with the fifth wheel that we hauled around in camps, and we eventually left it parked up at the lake in Wyoming, and then we bought a place at the lake in Wyoming, so we sold the fifth wheel. Then we bought a Class B to go back and forth to Florida. And so
that's cool.
We love it.
Did you pull off the side? And they're cool. The Class B's, did you have a cab over or did you have a van? Was it a van?
Van chassis without the cab over. That was in the middle.
Just a customized van, really.
Basically. But we really like the Class B. I mean, for not going and staying for weeks on end, but just going somewhere. He's got a full bath that you can hit going down the road.
They were hippies. They were
kitchen.
hippie vans in the beginning.
Yeah. Not old enough to know about that kind of stuff.
Come on.
No, we really liked it, but we used to have 3 dogs. Now we have 2, and they're much smaller, and they travel a lot easier. And so we're like, screw it, we'll stay in hotel rooms. The primary purpose of driving is to take the dogs to Florida and back. So we're going to just take one of our vehicles down and stay in hotel rooms.
Okay, Tom, here is the Century RV's explanation of why
Dogs
they don't
like
do
Florida?
that. Any out of state, they never meet. And he said it's $2,000 difference right away for shipping. The other thing is, no one will service an out-of-state RV.
That's not the fucking point. They don't even get the fucking point. It's the point of...
Sure, it's full service.
So he won't, he said never out of state because they've got a $2,000 advantage.
We're not talking about out of state. We're not talking about why he should not buy out of state. We're talking about beating a deal. That's okay.
He said he won't beat a deal out of state. That's his bottom line.
Okay, not out of state, but if it was a guy down the street, would he beat it? So I'll go down the street and try to beat it.
Okay.
I mean, they clearly do not get, we're not trying to pit someone against out of state.
Right.
We're trying to give them an did you talk to Ray?
I did.
Okay.
That's right. Ray's the one who gave me that. So.
Well, Ray, you might as well leave that one on the line because it's not going to stay.
Why wouldn't they serve out of state?
You know goddamn well they service out of state.
I would, yeah, because I would.
They never asked me where my fucking unit came from. I took it in there
because they get it from the dealer.
He obviously has no idea.
Or the manufacturer.
That's ridiculous. Oh, no, we don't service out of state. Really? What about somebody coming across country? You sure as hell will take their money.
Yeah.
So I know she'll love it and it'll work for her too. That's why
from a financial standpoint, how much does bringing an ad for them on here cost compared to,
cutting out $2,000 to the RV.
What do you mean?
Well,
So like if
is the publicity worth it? Is what you're asking.
Oh.
It would be more than worth it. Yes, it would be. Way more than worth it. Not for one commercial, but it would be worth it in the long run, for sure.
Those people that bought that house up in Powell County, they bought it sight unseen.
Well, they're stupid.
But they trusted their realtor.
Of course they did. That was stupid too. You know.
But like, hey, we talk to people. Nobody goes and looks at a certificate of occupancy. So
you buy anything in Park County sight unseen, you're just asking for.
But even being there, would you go and ask for a certificate of occupancy? Probably not.
Probably not, but I would.
The realtor should.
I think the realtor and the title company are going to have some issues here.
Yeah.
And your title commitment, wouldn't you see back to a final C note being
They
issued?
don't do it. We talk to the title company. They don't. That's not something that they check. Why? I don't know.
You know, in Florida, our realtor, which is Florida, I know it's different, but he went to the county to make sure there were no open permits and to make sure there was a CO issued, and I'd never heard anybody do that before.
Do you your title company or your realtor?
The realtor.
See, that's someone you a good, thorough realtor.
It was like common knowledge. Oh yeah, you got to go check the open permits and stuff. You're like, okay, never heard of it, but kind of makes sense when you hear this.
Oh yeah.
But I was a realtor up there in Summit County for a long time. I mean,
you were?
Yeah, back in the day. That Park County shit is just.
Oh, I think.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. And Miguel wants to tell us about a scam call going on. And what is going on with you, Miguel? What are you talking about?
Well, I was working, and they actually initially left me a message.
What was the message? What was it about?
It says that if I don't call them, like, immediately, that they will have a local police department come to arrest me. They didn't specify, but when I called them, I just thought it was hilarious that the guy and everybody surrounding him, you could hear people with, like, a very, very heavy accent. But it just says you'll be taken under custody by local cops, as there are 4 serious allegations pressed on your name at this moment.
I get those every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Every
wanted you to send money. Do you have a phone number to call back, or did you let them know you knew it was a scam?
I didn't say much, but I was really upset because this business phone for a company that I work for.
Yeah, so did you get a number to call back, or did they know that know?
Oh yeah, I got a number. I give it to you.
And on this number, did they let you know that? Did they tell you to call back?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I kind of laughed, and the guy just said, "Well, go ahead, go get arrested." That's all he said, and then hung up.
We've handled these before. In fact, I have some on YouTube where the guy, I posted them on YouTube where we call them this. These are such pieces of crap, but they just keep doing it because listen, it must work. If these people do this, you figure they must get results. Because I can't believe they would spend all day doing something that doesn't get results. I mean, that to me, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, so if in fact someone calls you ever with the IRS, or someone calls you and says you're going to go to jail, first of all, the police will never call you for a fine or to collect money ever. The IRS will never call you to collect money. They don't operate on the phone. They're all scams. I can't think of one case where someone will call you for money. Now, when you win an award, they're not going to call you and ask for money. You don't have to pay taxes before you get a reward or an award or a gift or a lottery or anything ever. Ever. If they want to withdraw the taxes out of the check, they do. But you never have to give them anything. I am so tired of these scams that are perpetrated. So, I want to go back to a question I had on buying a house. And let's get that disclosure statement. Dan, let me look at it. Here's what it says. The closest thing we could find to a disclosure statement to cover this. They bought the home, and it does not have a certificate of occupancy. Okay? That is something you get when you build a home. You have a series of inspections. Then you have a final inspection. And then sometimes on the final inspection, there are tiny things that need to be done. So you're given a temporary certificate of occupancy. But that temporary certificate of occupancy expires. And you have to call them back and tell them you've taken care of the other things, and they come out and look at them. And you get a permanent certificate of occupancy. It's called a CO. If you want to ever finance a new home, they want to see a CO. After that, many times they don't care. Most of the time they don't care. In this case, these people built the home and they never got a CO ever. We don't even know if they had a final inspection. It was totally screwed up. Now, it's in a mountain community, fair play, so that could be why. I mean, maybe they're just not as together as the Front Range. But here's the deal. They bought the home, and the date on this is June 15th, 2017. It's coming up on a year, okay? The only part we can see in the disclosure statement, and these are pretty much standard disclosure statements, I believe. In Section 2, H, line 1, it's Section 2, and it's box or Section 2, and then it's H box, which says use, zoning, and legal issues. Here's what it says. They're asking, do you have a zoning violation, variance, conditional use, violation of an enforceable PUD, or nonconforming use? Wait a minute. I didn't see that one, Dan, before. That one, I would say they do. Listen to this. Do they have a zoning violation? No. A variance? No. Conditional use?
Yes.
The temporary was conditional use.
I would think.
The temporary certificate of occupancy. Or then they say violation of an enforceable PUD, planned unit development. They don't have a violation of that. Do they have a non-conforming use? Could you say it's non-conforming? No, because that would be like a business in a place that's not meant to be a business, and you're selling the business. But could you call it a conditional use? Do you have a conditional use?
Maybe. Tom, did they check no or I don't know on that?
On that one, they said no. Then the one I thought, and why didn't you even highlight this one? The one I thought, because it had the 1 year thing. Where does it say? It said, did you have any improvements or anything basically within the last year without a permit? Yeah, the whole house, but it wasn't within the last year. Where is that one?
I think that's towards the end of the page.
That's the one. That's the one, if any, I thought they would have, except it limited it to the past year. It says, did you make any improvements, or did you have any something or other without proper permits? So a certificate of occupancy would definitely be a violation if you didn't have that. But it said within the last year, which is kind of weird. And I know I read it. It's on that disclosure somewhere.
There's no question in my mind, Tom, that would be a lawsuit in the making right there on this.
Without a certificate of occupancy.
Absolutely.
Even if they say, when we called the seller, what did they say? The sellers, well, we sold it as is.
Right, that's what they said. It was listed,
you know, I mean,
and it wasn't.
But selling as is, you know, you can sell something as is, John, but it's as is, meaning it doesn't mean, like, what if it wasn't a house? I mean, you don't sell a house as is if it can't be lived in.
Prove it.
You know, prove that you sold it as.
Yeah, I mean, prove that you've offered this thing completely with no warranties whatsoever, and that you can somehow warrant or disclaim habitability.
All right. Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal, used cars, trucks, SUVs, or van. Are you looking for a great deal? Well, you could possibly find it at Rocky's. You know, there's once in a while you may find a single owner. Who knows? Rocky's isn't saying they're going to have the cheapest price on everything. They say when you consider everything, overall the value and the hassleless, the no-hassle way of shopping, you're going to love Rocky's and decide to shop there and buy there. And here's all they ask. Put them on the list. Make them part of your shopping trip. They know you're going to shop around, but shop Rocky's. Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal, 303-426-4646. Variety and financing, variety and product. 40 lenders to choose from. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Saturdays, 9 to 6.
This report is brought to you.
The past year, that's the part I never. That's weird.
Selfies, when you were realtors, do you ever deal with anything with selfies? Is that how you say it? Selfies?
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's.
That's where you
that's who did
I always thought it was higher end.
Yeah,
right. But
they're
they're
probably out of Breckenridge. That
I think you're right. I think you're
might
right.
be Jeff Pepper's outfit up there. Which, I mean, maybe it's not the realtor's fault, but if you've got the guy saying, no, I have no issues with the building permits and COs and all that kind of shit, as opposed to saying, I don't know, which is kind of the classic get out of jail free card, you know. I don't know nothing.
He said no. All those are
no. Totally no.
Then that's a misrepresentation. If you built the home, you got to know you never got the damn CO. You got to know that.
Right.
And if he's going to claim, no, I don't know, clearly this is a savvy guy, okay? He's transferring assets in and out of the bankruptcy. He's playing the system. He knows damn well that he's a savvy enough guy to know he never got the CO done when he originally built the home.
And we didn't talk to him, we talked to the wife. And the wife says, no, as far as I know. And
she may not, but
I think she's, I think you're right. I think this was orchestrated from the very beginning because they fell on hard times. And,
right.
I mean,
but I'm just, again, I go back to the buyer beware, who buys a home sight unseen? Get on
No, I understand that, and that's all. But who would? I would never think about asking for a CO. I just thought it was automatic.
But there's ways that you can kind of pick up on that stuff. Like, but what is the appraised square footage of the home with the assessor? Yeah, but is it accurate? Is the finished square footage with the tax assessor identical to that of the home?
I think that part they had.
You think it was?
Yeah. The CO, the reason they had a temporary stuff, there were some structural issues and stuff that they didn't take care of. Door height not high enough, a beam underneath the deck wasn't there.
Right.
That they wanted.
And they never came back and followed up on those either?
The county doesn't do anything. When it runs out, the county doesn't do anything. But if you want something else to do, and that's these people wanted to add another bedroom on, and the county says, no, you have a certificate of occupancy.
How did they ever get homeowners insurance on that all over the years?
How do you know?
Yeah, exactly. Lenders want to see those.
So the other people, after they transferred, this is how bad it was. After they transferred out of bankruptcy to the kids, then they went bankrupt, transferred back into their name, then they took a loan out on the house. Yeah, and then sold it, and then moved to Texas.
Somebody just called and said, it's been over an hour and you haven't said anything about the freedom check.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
And then he goes, and you never talked about it on Friday. I said, well, we have to look into the details.
Is Bill the guy that calls him off?
I don't know. Suzanne's the one who's here all the time.
Ask Bill if he can hang on, because I will talk about freedom checks.
Okay.
That's really what I'm going to do. I need to. I do. It's stupid. He's into this trading cards, and then he plays games with them.
Which trading cards?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh.
You've heard of it?
Yeah. Which trading cards?
Yu-Gi-Oh. It's crazy shit. Crazy what these kids did. Well, I did something really stupid, okay? He is so into it. I met a kid that's almost like a little prodigy, 15-year-old at this tournament. And he and my son were talking. And he's talking about this poor kid works his ass off. He's a waiter. He's 15. And, and he was talking about, and he's a good player. He was talking about the ultimate deck and what he would do. He started playing since he was 5. And I said, so there is an ultimate deck? He says, yeah, I have this thing I would do, blah, blah, blah. And I said, put together an ultimate deck. Send us the list. I said, if you do that for us, I said, I'll just make 2, and I'll give my son one. What do you think the deck cost to put together?
Yu-Gi-Oh shouldn't be too bad.
$450.
That's not bad.
For the ultimate deck. So 2 of them were $900 for fucking card game.
The card game.
But it's the ultimate. It's the ultimate. There's not a bad card in it.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Fix It 24/7. Fix It 24/7. For $39, you'll get an expert insured and bonded to your home to diagnose any problem that you have and then tell you exactly what's wrong and what it will take to fix it, and it'll be honest and straightforward with no other further obligation. But if you decide to have the work done, they'll credit you the $39. And I will venture to say you will never get as much work done for any price they give you anywhere because of the value they provide. Check it out for yourself. $39. If you've ever wondered about any plumbing, heating, or cooling issue, you will find out. And they will diagnose, and no matter how long it takes. And that is a business that I know and trust. Fix It 24/7. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. Find out more about them. FixMyHome.com. Somebody said, Tom, you haven't talked about freedom checks. You said you would. Let's talk right now. And Bill, I promise I'll get to your call, and those others, you can get ready for the next hour. Put the phone down, and I promise you I'll get to you. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, the ad says freedom checks. Get a check every month, okay? They don't ever say guaranteed. They just said it is guaranteed that there is money available every month, and they say billions of dollars every month is available. Then they cite cases when you go onto their site. And by the way, this is not a scam, okay? What they're doing is not a scam. It's very cleverly marketed. When you go onto the site, you look at a video. And in the video, a man is giving a presentation in a business suit saying, so-and-so collects $132,000 a month. So-and-so collects $14,000 a month. One guy didn't know he had a check coming, and he had $40,000 waiting for himself. And they give examples of people who are collecting checks. And they say it's not a government program. And they say, if you are one of these who are in line for this money, you will get it. All you have to do is know about it. It's true. Everything they're saying is true. So, what are they selling? They give true examples of people collecting money. And they say there are dozens of entities out there who have money to grant you. And, for example, this guy is getting this much money. Now, John, are you on the site right now?
Yes.
Have you ever looked at the video?
No. Okay.
I urge people to look at it. And you'll also see all of the surrounding videos. If you look at freedom checks, they bought up a bunch of URLs and have a bunch of positive reviews. Or like if you Google like is it a fraud, they bought up most of those reviews. Now this is very clever because, by the way, it's not a fraud, it's not a scam. But I'm not going to do it. And here's what freedom checks is. It's a very simple process. They are selling a subscription to a list. It might be a newsletter too, but it's a list. And it's a list of entities, companies that pay dividends. And if you own these companies, or if you're entitled, as they say, through the ownership, you will collect the dividends. And they will keep you abreast of which companies pay dividends and how much, and where the money is available if you subscribe. It really is a list of dividends. That's what it is. Companies bearing dividends. We have more coming up.
You can go to www.freedomchecks.com.
But you read about it. But it's MLPs, though, which is different than a regular, like a Ford that pays a dividend. These are higher dividends, and you get a K1. It's a pain in the ass in your taxes.
They're partnerships.
Right. Master limited partnerships.
But you have to invest a shitload to get the dividend.
Oh, you got to buy them. You got to buy the stock. Yeah. But they usually pay higher, and the reason.
So let's clarify this. But they usually pay higher, but you don't buy a share for $10 either.
No.
To buy into one of these partnerships could be $100 grand.
Right. Well, you're whatever.
That's what Dan does it.
Well, yeah, but you're not going to buy a partnership.
Pipeline companies. Almost every pipeline company is a master limited partnership.
Right. But with a master limited partnership, you're not going to get $100 grand a month for investing $5 grand.
No, you might get 8%. You're not dividend. I didn't know that's what the ad said. To say that. Some of those MLPs and stuff pay 18, 20%, but they're on the brink of going bankrupt too.
Right.
Just like any company and stuff. But
you don't want to talk about just inviting the IRS up your ass. That's just one sure way to do it.
Well, like I say, they do the K1, and the K1s are a pain in the ass to write on your taxes. And so.
Yeah. My tax return was 106 fucking pages.
Yours was? Holy jeez. Yeah. Man, you know, after I get it done, it's just like a big weight off my shoulder.
And I have such simple taxes. I mean,
really? For 100 pages? Well, you got investments, right? You got property investments.
Yeah.
You don't do rentals on them, do you? Or that's where it could get, where you start depreciating and stuff. That's
No, I own my building that I'm in as a separate LLC, and I rent that to myself.
Right, okay.
So my corporation rents it from me, but that's just another flow-through entity. It doesn't even get its own tax return. It just goes right on my return. You know, it's just stupid. It's just, you know, alternative minimum tax calculations. It's just everything under the sun. I used to do my taxes, but I honestly don't know that I could do them anymore.
I quit doing them like 5 years ago.
I haven't done it
because it's just.
Then I want the extra layer of CPA in between me and the IRS. If ever there's any issue, they've got somebody they can pick up the phone and call, not me.
Right.
Because I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, much less what I did on a tax return 2 years ago.
And then if you happen to get an audit, they're there to help you out. You know, you're not on your own. Well, I agree. It's so complicated now. Granted, hopefully it gets simpler, but
what's complicated?
Taxes.
Jesus, they've always been complicated, really.
I just got mine over the weekend. My stupid return is 106 pages.
That's crazy.
Now, you have a complicated return?
I don't think so.
It's just a lot of pages.
Mine has really gotten uncomplicated since
A lot
I
of
got
that security stuff, you know. I mean, there's a lot of dividends and
you have to account for each and every one, right?
So probably 20 pages of that is
investments.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, they do a different one on each one of my oil wells, but it's a lot of work for very little income.
Right. I was just thinking, I used to do my own back in the day, you know, many moons ago.
I want to see a really spike in oil prices just long enough to sell these.
I think you could sell them.
Do you own horizontal or vertical?
Oh, I have no idea. I have royalties on so many accounts. I mean, I have thousands. I have untapped oil mineral rights. I bought it mostly because they're untapped.
Verticals are starting to go away. They're starting to shut them down. That's a lot of what our work is right now.
No, like I said, Tom, I think you can make money on them now.
You think people?
Absolutely. Depending on where it is. Now, you need to go through a landman.
Here's my problem. Do you know my problem? I own so much, honest to God, even untapped stuff, that to figure out the units to sell, like the lots, I bought in certain lots. You don't have to sell in those lots. You can sell in any lots you want, right? Well, the worst thing to own is when you own stuff and you can't quantify exactly what you own. So it went from offering me $8,000 per acre. It's now up to $20,000 an acre. So I know something's changed, right? But I don't even know at $20,000 an acre, if I multiply it out based on what they want to buy, if at the end I'm going to come up 50% short of my cap. I don't know, because I don't know what I have. I literally don't know what I paid, because they were all, the bases are all different on every one of them.
You're talking, why do you care?
Well, for taxes for one, and second, because at the end, I'd like to get the $1 million I have invested back. I don't want to get $200,000.
But you've been getting income too.
Well, yeah, but the percentage is minuscule. You know, I mean, it's a return, but what I mean is, I'd like to eventually just, I don't know, I'd like to get the principal back, because I don't feel it's a great investment. I have 14 states. I literally have about 800, 900 counties.
I need somebody.
Now, Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
by Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. This hour brought to you by the Raleigh House. It's a very serious topic about addiction and addiction treatment. That's why they established this very special number. What we do here is solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. We have our experts. Our expert today is John Fuller, Fuller Law, personal injury attorney. And we have a few emails for him. We also really just have him sit in and say hi. And we got a compliment about how he communicates. You know, it's amazing that when you get an attorney to communicate with you, it's somehow special. And that's what he does. He does communicate and listens to you. So we're talking about your consumer problems, questions, and complaints. Please give us a call. And if you know anyone who has an addiction, Raleigh House has this informational line that you can call about anything. There are no questions off base. You can ask anything. You can ask about their program, what it costs. You can ask about competing programs, and they're really not competing. They all have different reasons to go. You may want to choose another program. You know, the Raleigh House isn't going to try to sell you on their program. They're just going to answer your questions on cost, on insurance, on availability, on scheduling, on what programs are available, what do you look for, how do you know there's a habit or a drug addiction, when does it get worse, how do you know if it's getting worse, how do you approach an addict. If any of these questions or a host of others come up, you can get answers confidentially right now or anytime you want to call 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. Sponsored by the Raleigh House. Now, let's talk. Bill, hey, you want to talk about a scam? What's the scam, Bill?
I'll tell you who pays that money to these. I could use some choice words. It's like people like my mother-in-law. You know, she's like 87 years old.
Now, pays money to who?
These people that call up asking for money.
Oh, my God. They do it in any number of ways. First of all, they say you're going to get arrested if you don't pay. That's one. The other one is you owe taxes. Another one is, how about, hey, Mom, hey, Grandma.
Right.
And, you know, this is Mikey or whatever. Or they say, hey, Grandma, and then Grandma says, is this Mikey? Yeah, Grandma, it's Mikey.
Right,
I'm in trouble.
She's even gotten, we had to take the checkbook away from her. She's gotten calls from people. They go, well, you sent money to us before. And she sits there and she writes the check right away and crawls out to the mailbox. And
oh, my God. Isn't it terrible, Bill, how people prey upon people?
Well, I've gotten guys, where if I've been there, and I get on the phone, and I had this one guy, I go, how would you like someone treating your mother like this?
Yeah,
and you know
they don't
what he
care.
had the nerve to say to me?
What?
Don't be rude.
You know, Bill, they don't care. They just don't care. Gary, welcome to the show. What's going on, Gary?
Good afternoon, Tom.
Hey, man. What's happening with you?
Well, you know, in all the years I'm listening to your show, I think I found something here that I've never heard you talk about. So
wow. If it's something we have never talked about, I'm going to buy you lunch.
What is it?
What is it? No.
Sounds like Mark.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, right.
So what is it?
So I get a process server, or somebody that appears to be a process server, comes to my house yesterday on a Sunday afternoon and gives me a piece of paper. And he's got a little badge, and he's looking official. I didn't ask for his ID. I should have, but that's fine. He gives me a piece of paper. It looks like I'm being served a summons to answer in Douglas County from a finance company and I'm looking at this. It looks very official, and I'm reading it, and it turns out it's for $179. Now, who's going to pay somebody, a process server, $100 or whatever it costs to come out to collect a debt of $179? But more interesting,
John, what do you think?
They absolutely will.
I know they're crazy, but I think normally process serving is $30 or so. How did that?
But when they go to court, they'll get that back. It's a taxable cost, so they're not worried about that.
But Gary, how do you know what he paid the process server?
Well, I talked to an attorney friend of mine from another state, and in that state it's $110.
I don't know of anybody who charges $110 around here, but they charge way less. But anyway, go ahead. So yeah, they will serve you, but here's how you tell if it's real. It's very easy. There's a case number, and you can call the clerk of the courts and find out if it's real.
Well, and that's interesting because I'm actually going to the courthouse today.
Yeah.
I do volunteer work there. I'm actually going there today.
Sure.
On the left-hand side, it's got county court, Douglas County, for the plaintiff, the attorneys for the plaintiff, and on the right-hand side, it has the court use only and case number and division number.
Sure.
Interestingly, those areas are blank.
That may not be a fatal flaw, though, Gary.
It might be they didn't file yet.
They sometimes file after they serve people. If they don't know if they can find people, they'll send out those service of processes, and then they'll file everyone that they find and serve. So I would not rely upon that information to think that you can just toss that in the trash can.
Gary, listen, here's the deal. If you're served papers ever, and this goes for everyone, I'm going to tell them, do not ignore it. There might be an off chance it's a scam, but do not ignore personal service. Here's what you do. You take the case number, you go to the courthouse, and you research it. It's that easy. If it's a case, it's there, or it hasn't been filed yet. But so if it hasn't been filed yet, they don't have a case number. So hold on. But hold on. So if there's no case number, what you do is you contact the attorneys that have filed it, and you talk to them, or you have an attorney do it. But, Gary, you can't ignore it. But here's the better question. Here's the better question. What is it? And, Gary, I would say 99% of the time people know why they're being served, and they recognize something about it. Who is it from? Who is it from, Gary?
Well, they're saying it's a bill from somebody called South Denver anesthesiologist.
Okay.
From 4 years ago.
From how long ago?
4.5 years ago.
Now, Gary, do you recall ever, you or anyone in your family, having anesthesia?
Oh, yeah, this is probably legitimate, but I haven't had any communication from them.
It doesn't matter.
Years.
They're not required to communicate with you at all. All they have to do, that's all they have to do is send you a bill originally. That's all. That's it.
Okay.
And they don't have to. People think they have to keep telling you, and then they have to warn you. They don't. They don't have to warn you. If they send you a bill initially and it doesn't get paid, now usually they do send you other communication. Usually, right? But they're not required to. In fact, do you want to know the truth? Even if they can't show they sent you an initial bill, they can still sue you for it if you owe the money. Did you know that? That's what's crazy. Do you know that really? I don't even think there's law written for this, but Gary, I know this: if you owe something, you owe it. There's a principle of law. If you owe it, you owe it. If you gain value, so you could literally have something done by a doctor, and they never bill you, but they expect you to inquire about it to find out what you owe, and if you don't, they're going to go after you. John?
Gary, here's the fact that it hasn't been actually filed yet in court means they haven't incurred those expenses. Once they do incur them, they're going to be able to tax you with those. So you might be wise, as Tom said, to call the attorney, see if you can't get ahead of this thing and make this thing go away before they file it.
Now, obviously, when you call the attorney, you want to make sure they document it as well, because, yeah, there is a such thing as crooked process servers or crooked attorneys or collectors, yes.
Well, the first red flag for me was no case number, no division number.
Right, and that's because it wasn't filed.
Right, so we covered that. But it says, to the above-named defendants, take notice that on Monday, May 21st at 9:30 a.m. in the county court, if you do not appear and answer, the court will enter judgment against you. So they're saying, on the one hand, it hasn't been filed, but on the other one, they've got a date and a time for court?
Right, Gary, they have to file those shortly after serving you, and they will. And come that morning on the docket, your case will be there. And if you're not there with bells on, you'll have a default judgment entered against you at that time.
Now, Gary, that is not to say that there aren't frauds like this, but here's what we're just trying to impress upon you. Don't try got you on a technicality, because it doesn't work. I mean, people try, oh, well, I got this, and they're too clever for themselves, and they end up getting default judgments and stuff. The thing to do is to attack it on its merit, okay? People who try to attack it on the service part of it, truly, all they have to do is reserve. I mean, we had a guy at court one time that bragged about how he got him on a technicality. And do you know what they did right there in court? They served him. Right there in court.
Right in court. Okay.
Yeah, they served him. And there you go. Now you're served. So it's just, listen, Gary, if you recall having this, why bother playing games? Try to get it settled. So many people, they don't like the idea of collection. And you know what? I know how it feels, because I once was collected on with something that literally had I never got a bill. And they were sending it to an address I do not have, and they acknowledge it. But I still owed the money. So they were kind enough to take it off the late thing on the credit report, because I showed them, and it was a legitimate collection firm, and I showed them, or they showed me the address and it wasn't mine. So they took it off any adversarial proceedings. There were no penalties, simply the bill plus interest. Usually interest is incurred and you have to pay it because that's cost of money. Now, cost of money is something that, even like with the IRS even, or with anywhere, you're not going to get away with cost of money. You will get away with punitive damages sometimes if it's not your fault. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. John Fuller, Fuller Law. John, if someone hits you and they're hurt, these people want to know, what do you do when someone is out of state? How do you sue them? Do you sue them here in Colorado?
Most of the time, yes.
I mean, most of the time. I hope all the time,
well,
right?
no, I mean, I can. The question may be whether I sue them in federal court or I sue them here locally in state court.
Oh,
we have to make that
but
judgment
you never
call.
have to go where they live,
no,
do
correct.
you?
Absolutely not. They've subjected themselves to the jurisdiction here in Colorado by coming here and getting into the accident.
Okay, thank you. So, people, if you had someone from out of state hit you, you can handle it here in town. Okay? 303-713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. That's his actual thing. He has Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Frank Duran, whether you're buying or selling real estate, let him represent you. He and his firm will put everything they have behind it. They do proactive marketing like you won't believe. And I mean proactive. They will absolutely look at every single deal individually and put their best effort forward. You'll see it and you'll believe it. Give me feedback. 303-920-1622.
Believe it or not, no major problems. The lunch-hour drive gets underway this Monday. No stalls or accidents being reported on the highway drive. In fact, no major delays. I-25 on the speed control their northbound through downtown into the
Well, you can make the claim here, and I have before, but if you have to sue them because you can't get it done through negotiation, you're going to have to go there.
Trouble-free on the turnpike as well.
But California's got shitty limits. I mean, they're only like 15,000 a year for their liability limit, so it doesn't take much of a case to control those full limits.
What's the company you work for? You know what, Phil? Wells?
Yeah.
I worked for Slumber J for 30 years. Oh. And you're out of Weld County? Where do you live in?
I live in Evans, the shops in Greeley.
Okay.
And
so you mainly build roads and stuff to
the main thing I do is a lot of reclamation of oil pads.
Oh, okay.
Putting it back to natural ground. A lot of stuff like that. But the company in general builds pads, we reclaim them. We've been doing a lot of dairy farm expansion work.
Dairy farm expansion? What do you mean? They're
a lot of the dairies in Will County are expanding because the dairy factory in Greeley just did a huge expansion, and they're pretty much don't want cows, they need more milk. So there's a lot of dairy farm expansion, a lot of feedlot expansion. There was
a stinky area around there and stuff.
There is one I worked on in Sterling. It started, it was maybe like really a quarter mile, kind of its footing. We tripled it over the summer. And as we were building it, they had cows coming in to go on the bins just because they were already on the way. And they were, as soon as we were done building it, they're already at capacity. And they have plans to expand even more.
Yeah. No, and they go on to the Ruse family farm. I swear, farmers, and my dad was a farmer. They go on there, and these are the corporations.
Where is Tom?
Oh. What's it?
I'm going to run to the rescue.
Oh, shut him. Okay.
Why? Does Tom not know he's back home?
I guess not. It's on, Ron.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to John, who has a question for our guest, John Fuller, Fuller Law. What's going on, John?
Yeah, so my mother got an exact same letter similar to what this other gentleman just called about. But the difference is that, and she's 80
Now, you wait,
years
you
old.
talking about the guy, hold on, the guy that said he was served?
Yeah, so this, exactly.
And she got a letter, though. It wasn't served.
She got a letter, and then a gentleman drove up and handed her the same exact letter.
Okay, that's service.
Okay.
And was it about South Denver cardiologist?
No, but what this says, motion for revival of judgment.
Yes.
And it says entering on 2012.
Do you know what that is?
Revive it.
Here's what it means.
It's a credit collector.
Yeah, but normally what it means is they already have a judgment.
Yep.
And they're just renewing it because they expire. So normally they always get that. I mean, John, I don't know of any case where you would not get a revival because you...
So what that means, John, is that some years back your mother was sued and the creditor received a default judgment or in some way received a judgment against your mom.
Right.
Your mom having not paid that over a period of time, now they're just trying to revive the judgment so it stays active.
And I don't know of any that are denied that. In other words, I think it's too late to defend the original case.
It is. Yeah.
Even if she didn't owe the money, John, it's too late.
Yeah, but what I remember a show back where it was, if something drops off at 6 years, which it looks like this is about the time frame.
No, that's not judgments. That's not judgments. That's collections.
Yeah, but
so there was an attorney number here, but I called it, and it was a collection company.
Right.
And I believe it's the collection company is trying to revive it.
That's all.
Responding to it.
Okay, I'll put it in two ways then. Here's the first way. Let's say there is a bill, and it's owed, and they do not collect in 6 years or don't file a lawsuit.
Okay.
There's nothing to revive. It goes away. It's done.
Okay.
Okay? It is expired under the statute of limitations for collections. Okay? That's what it means. It's gone. But if you have a judgment, that means some time ago, 4 or 5 years ago, this collection agency or a creditor filed and got a judgment. The time to fight that judgment was back then. Now let's say they were granted the judgment. That judgment has a lifespan. Some of them have a lifespan as short as 6 years. That means that they, during that 6 years, will try to collect, or maybe not. Maybe it fell through the cracks. Now, whoever bought that judgment or whoever has the judgment now wants to revive it so they can have more time. It's not asking for an extension of the statute of limitations. It's asking that the judgment be revived. And I have never heard personally of a judgment being denied revival. Okay? I think it's more of office work. Now, John, I might be wrong. John Fuller, can you think of a case where a judgment that was gotten by the court would be denied revival?
Only if it wasn't filed on time. That's the only
The
case.
revival.
Yep, the revival needs to be filed before the old judgment dies, and as long as it is, it's almost an automatic thing. They're going to renew that most of the time.
Right. There is no statute of limitations when it comes to a judgment. A judgment that just dies. It's not called a statute of limitations. It just dies.
John, how old is your mom?
She's 80, and again, that's why I was just wondering, because I mean, it's just giving us the information that you pretty much described, that it's going to drop off and they want to revive it.
Right.
But there's no court date. There's no place to go to respond to this other than calling a phone number.
It's just a motion with the court. It's not an actual hearing.
I don't believe you even get a chance to
no, she could respond to the motion, but it's not. There's no real reason to do that.
There's
not going to be a hearing date or anything like that. It's just they just have to file a ministerial type motion that's saying, "Hey, judge, please renew this thing. We're getting towards the end of the time," and they do it.
Yeah, I mean, the time.
Just ignore it, right?
Yeah, well, listen, we're not telling you that because we didn't see it. We don't know what that says. Okay, we're only going by what you're telling us. John can't give you legal advice based on what you're telling us. So, what we're saying is, a revival of judgment is just what it says, a revival of judgment. If that's what you have, it's a revival of judgment. So and I will never tell you to ignore anything, nor should anyone unless they see it and they're an attorney. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now we have lines wide open once again. Crazy Monday. And again, I ask the question, if you bought a home without a certificate of occupancy, would you feel cheated? Now, remember, they even if they said as is. Now, here's the way I look at it. Let's say you had a car, and it was as is, but the car did not have a certificate of origin, or it wasn't, is that the right way to put it, or a VIN number, because it was a wreck? You know.
What about a salvage title? Yeah, you would
well,
absolutely.
It would have to be more than a salvage title, because it's a salvage title is merchantable. But what if you bought a car and you paid for it, but you could not get it registered because there was no VIN number? That's a good, I think that's a good analogy. And then the reason there was no VIN number, listen to this analogy, it's almost the same, is they took a car and rebuilt 2 or 3 cars. You're allowed to do that, and then you go to the state police, and the final step in a builder, it's called a builder, is to get a VIN inspection, and to get an inspection, and they give you a VIN number. It could be a brand new VIN number from scratch because you built that car. You can even, give it a name. You might have welded a car together from nothing. You built a car. Now, if it meets all of the standards of the highway safety and the law and the emissions, you could theoretically build a car, I think. I don't know of any reason you couldn't. It just has to meet all the standards. You would get a VIN number. So what if you built a car and sold it but never went through that step?
I'm going to unravel that deal.
Yes, so that is a good analogy. That house, you could argue, should not have been sold in that condition because it cannot be, it's not, you were never given permission to live in it. So I just think they have a tough case ahead of them. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255, you can get right through. Now, on the topic of the freedom checks, Deputy Dan wanted to bring something out about that. We said that what they are selling is a subscription to what they're putting out, a list of dividend-bearing companies. So when they say this guy's getting this much a month and this person's getting this much a month, or this person's getting 3 checks, they're master
limited partnerships.
Yeah. What is an MLP?
It's a way they do their tax structure, and they usually pay a higher dividend.
Well, it's a high-risk, limited. It's a high-risk, limited offer, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't always have to be...
It's publicly traded, though, right?
It's publicly traded, but it doesn't have to be high risk. I mean, most pipelines and stuff, oil and gas pipelines are limited partnerships.
So when they have a limited partnership, you invest a lot more than a normal stock. I mean, like normally you're buying into a company, so to speak.
Right.
And you are with stocks too, but you can buy a stock from anywhere from $10 to $1,000. Whereas these partnerships, usually you're buying a bigger chunk.
Right, and a lot of them do that and stuff because they are higher risk. But I mean, there's also very good ones, but they usually pay a higher dividend. But you get a K1 because you take it, the way they've done their tax structures.
And what we believe is they're putting together a list of master limited partnerships that you can buy into.
Which you could just get off the internet.
What they're saying, here's what they're saying, that you are... if you are subject to these checks or if you are entitled to these checks, they don't say what it takes. But let me give you an idea. To get $100,000 a month, you would have to have invested millions. Millions. But that part they leave out. So is it a scam? No. They're telling the truth. This guy's getting this many checks. This guy's getting this many checks. What I don't understand is in their video presentation where they say some people are getting these checks and they didn't even know about it, or they didn't know they had it coming. Do they ever say? I think they allude to something like that, like it's a hidden money, like.
And I've never seen one of the actual presentation, but
it's on that video.
Okay.
And they're being advertised all over the place. So Rocky, what did you want to ask about? We got a couple lines open. 303-713-TALK. What's going on, Rocky?
I have a question about a garnishment, actually. similar to the other things you were talking about.
All right, what's going on?
In 2013, apparently, we were sued for a bill that was dated 2010.
Now, you were sued in 2013.
Right, but we weren't served anything, and we've never received one phone call or one bill from the company. But my wife received a paper 2 weeks ago saying that she was going to be garnished, and she was garnished that same week. We didn't even have time to answer the garnishment.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You hold on. This happens quite a bit, and it could be one of three scenarios, but you're sure the lawsuit was in 2013?
I am.
How do you know?
Because it says 2013 on the paperwork for the garnishment.
Okay, then you hold on. This is really a weird one. A weird one. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. And, of course, many people, they have to go bankrupt when they're served something like this. You know, let's say they have a debt of hundreds of thousands of dollars and there's no prayer. Or something happened with unemployment, divorce, or they were sued for something. Winkandwink.com is there for just such cases. They do Chapter 13s and Chapter 7s. And they're good people. They're just really good people. If you ever find yourself in trouble and you need help, winkandwink.com. Mike and Gigi Wink, a husband and wife team that will give you the attention you need during a very stressful time. 303-410-1720.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 K.
So how could they get garnished without getting served?
Well, we're going to show you.
Have to have a judgment.
But here's I'm going to tell you the loophole in our system. We're going to talk about it. It's terrible. It's a terrible loophole, and I don't know how the hell you find it.
And as Toyota makes a move to push safety communications forward, the automaker will
going into the next spring.
technology to talk to other vehicles starting in 2021. Vehicle-to-vehicle signals can warn others of heavy braking ahead or that another vehicle...
It's going to be longer than usual, like the other ones.
Cars will use dedicated airwaves so they can communicate. And if you're hanging out at the beach and have a hangry...
So I'm going to see a guy that called me...
I'm seeing a guy.
On the weekend, or no, last Friday.
I know a guy.
That said he got in a bad accident and he called you guys and was asking how to get a hold of me or who to call. Never heard back from you guys for 2 or 3 days, so he hired another law firm.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally you guys called him back, and then he called me, and I'm going to see him here in about 30 minutes.
The next day. We did it on the weekend.
We never wait, John.
Yeah.
In fact, I've never known. No, I'm glad you're telling me.
No, I know the guy.
But I want you to know something.
So he didn't get a call right back. He like went.
It was on the weekend.
Bacchus and Schenker.
When it comes, that's right.
That's the one. Yep.
And let me tell you why. Because they answer anytime.
Karma.com/radio.
This report is brought to you by Burlington.
It remains a nice, quiet lunch hour drive across the metro area freeway system. No stalls, no accidents, no delays, no kidding. I-25 up to speed through the heart of the city. No delays in I-70 from Golden, Arvada, traveling all the way out to Pena Boulevard. Well, Pena Boulevard inbound, a bit of delay there either side of the toll road. Once you get past that on either side, you should be in good shape. Trouble-free on 225. No delays on 6th Avenue and Lakewood. In fact, we're looking good across town. Up in the high country, Highway 6 closed in Clear Creek Canyon once again for rock scaling work. The weather forecast, partly sunny, warm with a high of 76. Right now, mostly cloudy and 68. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Refresh your spring closet for less at your Burlington store. What's hot? Stripes, dots, gingham, plus cool details like pearls, sequins, grommets, and more. Hurry in and save big on incredible looks for warmer days ahead. Burlington, style for everyone.
Take it like it is and make it like you want it. You've heard that before, right? Well, that applies to your home too. But maybe you don't know exactly how to get it done or what the options might be. Hi, Dan Cicchini, Done Right Kitchens and Baths, Windows and Doors. How about starting with a call to us? For over 30 years, our family company has been designing and completing first-rate kitchens and baths that, frankly, your neighbors would be jealous of. Where to start, Todd?
Dad, they just need to call us. We can help. And now's the time. At Done Right, we offer only the finest cabinet resurfacing, custom cabinets, tub and shower upgrades, and full kitchen and bath redesigns. Simply call us for a free in-home estimate, and you'll see how your unique kitchen and bath fantasies will become your reality.
Come on, folks, get her done. Once and for all. Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. 303-722-2295, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
Student loans, car loans, high-interest credit card loans, debt adds up for all of us, but there are ways around it. Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky for my friends at American Financing, and I'm here to remind you that refinancing your home loan is an easy way to save a lot of money. Think of it this way. A lower interest rate means lower monthly bill payments, and mortgage interest rates are far more competitive than a student loan or credit card rate. I'm talking rates in the low single digits versus rates in the high double digits. Why wouldn't you consolidate that high interest debt by refinancing your mortgage? You'll speak with a salary-based mortgage consultant who will customize a loan to fit your needs. They're already saving customers up to $1,000 a month, plus there are no upfront fees at American Financing. You could close on your new loan in as fast as 10 days and may be able to postpone up to 60 days of mortgage payments. Get in touch with American Financing at 303-695-7000 or online at americanfinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, regulated by the Division of Real Estate.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Genesis Total Exteriors and Interiors, one of the many great contractors out there, and the way to find them is to go to referralist.com, Genesis. We love him, and I say one of the many. You know, there are more, unfortunately, in this business that take the money and run, and they suck. But it is good to know there are some good ones, and Genesis, what a great guy. Mark Szymanski, I know him personally. And they have passive solar windows, by the way. Even if you don't have a system, they pay for themselves by accumulating credits over the years. Hey, they do interior and exterior siding, windows, gutters, painting, fences, decks, and more. 303-679-8509. Bathrooms, kitchens, basements, large and small additions. 303-679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Let's talk. Rocky, this is a very serious case, and I'll tell you some scenarios, and I'll let John Fuller Law, chime in, our personal injury expert, but he, of course, knows the law. Now, here's the deal. There is a loophole in our system, I feel, and let me give you the loophole that could have happened. What's your mom's first name? Is it your mom we're talking about? I'm sorry, your wife. What's her first name? Kim. Okay. So Kim is sued years ago, and they never served her, or they did what's called gutter service. They give it a nickname, like they throw it in the gutter, and then they say they served her. Let's say they lied. Well, just, and it happened. Yeah. So let's say she was served. She was not served. Here's the problem with the system. She doesn't show up. And because she didn't show up, she automatically loses, all right? So remember, first is gutter service, second is default judgment. And once you get the DJ, the default judgment, here's the problem. If you don't protest it within 6 months, it's pretty much there to stay. Now, wait a minute. I can read your mind. Hold on. I can read your mind. How do you protest it if you don't even know it's there? That's the loophole in the system. So then, here's what some unscrupulous collectors do. Not all of them. And I'm not even saying in your case, but let's say someone is a lying, flat-out cheat process server and a lying, flat-out cheat collector. They know you weren't served. They go in and they say, Your Honor, they didn't show up. Okay, you got a judgment for $2,000. Now listen to what they do. They purposely do not seek collection for a year. Now, why do they do that, John? Because then it's too late to fight the default judgment. John, this is a big loophole in our system.
You're right.
What do we do about it? What do we do about it? I'll tell you what you do about it. You get a credit monitoring service. That's what you get. I know, but here's the thing. I don't think there is a judge in hell that will listen to this right now after 5 years.
I don't think there is either. Unfortunately, That's just the reality. I mean, that loophole.
You owe the money.
It is there. That judgment is there.
You owe the
only
money.
thing that you can do is look into a bankruptcy or something along
Right.
those lines. That
How
will
much?
take care of the bank.
How much is it? Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. It's $2,500 for the bill you owe?
No, it was less than that, but after they add all the interest back pays and stuff, it's like $2,500.
Well, bankruptcy is way cheaper than that.
Well, I know, but $2,500 is not that much money.
You're saying it's not worth going bankrupt. I understand that. We didn't say you should. It's just an option because you're saying, well, screw you. I didn't owe the money. You know, you never served me. By the way, did she owe the money? Is it a bill you recognize, or did they completely make it up?
She went down to the courthouse, got the file, and found out what it was. Went up to her doctor, got papers showing that we had a $7 copay. It was a medical bill. Actually, 4 medical bills.
That
they
she
were
never.
Small amounts, $500. It was paid. The $7 copay was paid, but this bill came out of there somehow.
Wait,
the insurance.
The insurance never paid.
Well, we don't know that because it was 5 years ago, or actually, it was 2010 and 11, so it was 7 years
But they
ago.
got the judgment that long ago.
In 2013, they got a judgment in November.
How is it that you have a judgment since 13 and you don't know about it?
Exactly. We didn't know anything about it.
No, that's your fault, Rocky. How does one go without even so much as a credit check in that long?
We did credit checks.
It would have shown up.
The only thing we had is medical. We bought a car just 6 months ago.
What?
I don't know how that's even possible.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
The only thing you had was medical, meaning you had debt that showed up on your credit report unpaid.
But they didn't say it was.
Oh, Rocky, but you knew that. Wait a minute. Didn't it occur to you? Wait a minute. I owe a medical bill somewhere.
Well, yeah, but we pay our medical bills.
But Rocky, what did you think they meant when they said you have unpaid medical bills?
Well, I didn't know I got sued in 2013. I'll tell you that much. I guess I should have checked on the.
No, but when they said you owed
my credit report didn't say it.
You bought a car. When you bought that car, did anyone mention anything to you about any blemish on your credit at all?
Not on mine, but on hers.
Okay. Then what did they mention?
They mentioned something about medical, but it didn't count against us for some reason.
Okay, that's because.
But a judgment would definitely count against you, wouldn't it?
Rocky, anything they want to count against you will count against you. There is no universal law. There's no law that says to a car dealer, you must count this against them. You don't have to count this against them. There's no law that says that. Any lender can choose anything they want as criteria. Okay? Now, some lenders say, you know what? If someone has a medical bill, we're not holding that against them. But if they have an unpaid car or they have an unpaid credit card at Neiman Marcus, we're going to hold that against them because they feel like that was discretionary. You chose to incur that bill and you didn't pay it. But they feel medical bills they're more lenient on. Not all of them, but many of them. In fact, some creditors will not hold a bankruptcy against you if your child had a brain tumor and you went $300,000 into debt. You can see why. They reason to themselves, right up to this point they were golden. After this they were golden. It was that one unfortunate catastrophic event that caused this. Therefore, we're not counting it against them. So, Rocky, you bring up a good point, though, okay? When somebody has a credit report and they mention anything to you, look at it. Just look at it. Because that did come up as a judgment, and the car salespeople did not want to hold it against you. And car dealers are the first ones to start eliminating things because they want to sell cars to everyone. So, by the way, out of curiosity, Rocky, who was the car dealer that overlooked it?
It was Rocky's, actually.
Okay, that's because they're not going to hold it against you. That's exactly what I thought. Because they're going to say, you know what? These people deserve a car. And we shouldn't hold that against them. That's the point. Now, there are some dealers that will hold anything against you. They want just the very best. Everyone has the right to choose what they want to count for or against you. This is a terrible situation, Rocky. If you own, if you have a judgment, you truly were never served, you don't know anything about it, and you never had a chance to make it right. Okay? What you might want to do is try satisfying the judgment now, right?
You know, the lesson to be learned here, Rocky, and I'm sorry that you're in this position, but you're entitled to a free credit report once a year. Everybody's entitled to that. If you just simply pulled your credit report every single year and go over it with the fine-tooth comb, you might be early enough to get ahead of one of these things where they've gotten a judgment and they're just letting it sit there.
It's terrible. It's terrible. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. I have a love-hate relationship in the contracting world. I love great contractors because there are so many of these clowns taking money and running. But I'm going to tell you a guy that we met, and we are so happy. Thanks to Daphne, she introduced us. Jack Lent Construction. You'll find him at the referral list at referralist.com. Jack Lent is the real deal with more than 20 years in the construction business. He also has a law enforcement background, and he does what's called value engineering. If you want to have a home improvement done of any kind, he doesn't just look for the most lavish, expensive way to do it. He looks into the most efficient, cost-effective way of doing it while giving you extraordinary results. Value engineering. It can save you thousands, but get you beautiful stuff. They do line item quotes, not just one amount per square foot. You know what? When guys sit down and just say, it's so much a square foot, and they multiply out 1,000 square feet, they're not giving it true thought. They're not giving it value engineering. Lent Construction takes each and every item in your project and looks to get you the best value and looks to get you the best bang for your buck. And then by looking at the line by line, you can help trim it down if you're willing to do without something or if you want to add something. All employees are licensed and insured, and even the subcontractors licensed and insured. Lent Construction. Jack Lent is a great guy with a good company, and we're talking value, and we're talking straightforward dealings. 720-744-2885. Don't let your project go with just anyone. Lent Construction. 720-744-2885.
This report is brought to you by Wistera Credit Union.
There's a couple of trouble spots in the Metro Area Drive. There's some debris.
So on that, John, I guess I still don't understand. After a year, so you can have servers and stuff. You can't go after a server that just says they served and didn't. A judge won't go after that?
Not really.
Holy cow!
Because it's a credibility thing. You have a hearing, if you can get a hearing, okay, and you go, Your Honor, wasn't served. And they go, and somebody's going to have to be on the other side to go, well, Your Honor, our process server, we put him on the stand up here. Says right here on this date and time that you served, you recall this service process? Yes, I do. And is it your testimony today that you served this document to this person? Absolutely, I did. I handed it to her face. This person right here, this Dan guy, I handed it directly to him. I distinctly remember the guy because he appeared to be drunk. I had detected an unknown odor of alcoholic beverage on his voice, and he was slurring his speech. It's no wonder he doesn't remember.
So the reason I said Clint just served a guy, seen him in the window, he wouldn't answer the door, and so he put it under his wipers on his vehicle.
Okay. So
once again, that guy there.
Well, you can serve somebody by refusal. I don't know if putting it under their wipers is going to be okay. You might need to tuck it in the door. But
it says put in conspicuous place, is what it says on the thing.
He's probably all right, but that's a refusal service, and they get challenged a lot, you know. But usually the court kind of thinks the process server is a little bit more credible if it's a cop or something, or, you know, as long as it's not like Mark, you know.
But then you bring up a great point that a guy, and I've never pulled my credit report, but a guy should do that. Yeah. You know, we should put it as just how to do it. I
have LifeLock, and I monitor the shit out of things like that. And even though I don't ever use credit, but I still monitor it because I buy a ton of shit online, and you never know when your shit's going to get caught.
You think LifeLock is worth it?
I think it's expensive, but I keep getting it every year, and I keep monitoring things, and I know that. Sorry?
It just monitors and sounds like they're going to help.
But it does keep real time.
What's that last thing we just talked about? The one I just talked about.
Served without garnishment? That one? Is that
no, that was the loophole.
Contractor's link contract.
Oh,
yeah.
No. Value added.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere. And if you call right now, you'll get right through it. 303-713-TALK. All right, what do I have to do here? There's so much housework because we have so many great people to tell you about, okay? And the other one, I can't help but tell you about One Clear Choice Garage Doors. That's it. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. The best garage door service anywhere, and you will prove it to yourselves if you call them for the free inspection, safety, tune-up adjustments, hinge bolt tightening, and all of that if you mention Martino, or get a brand new opener for $333, or brand new garage doors, 303-565-6409, OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Pam, she got a photo speeding ticket, or no, her husband did, and I know what you're going to ask. What now?
Hi, am I?
Yeah, you're on. You're going to ask,
Okay.
what now? What now?
Yeah, what do we do now? It was from when we were in Phoenix. My husband got 2 radar speeding tickets
All right.
within 4 minutes of each other.
I'm going to tell you the real down and dirty, and then you decide what you want to do. If it's out of state like this, that you have a couple things that may or may not happen. They're going to send by mail to you the ticket. You can do one of two things. You can pay it, you can appear, or one of three things. Pay it, appear, or ignore it. If you pay it, it goes away. If you appear, whatever happens, happens. If you ignore it, there is a chance that nothing will happen. There is also a chance that they will convict you and have a record of that conviction and failure to appear in that state where you can be picked up if you ever get stopped down there again. There is a possibility. There is also, I do not believe there is reciprocity in this state, and there's not. So they don't come here and fight it. But I'm not sure, John, I don't know if you know this, but they might be able to keep you from renewing your license if there's an outstanding ticket in another state. That's as far as reciprocity goes as far as that. They don't come here and prosecute it unless there was a vehicular injury or something. But John, can they interfere with her renewing her license?
They may be able to, Tom. It depends. See, in Colorado, photo traffic tickets are not the same as tickets issued in person. And so I don't believe they'd have the ability to interfere with your renewal in a different state. But real tickets absolutely do.
Yes, and what he means by that is there's a different weight put on real tickets as opposed to photo tickets. If you got a photo ticket in this state, one of three things could happen. You could get served personally to appear. They could ignore it. Well, that's one of two things. Ignore it or get served personally. If you get served personally, you go or whatever. Then you can decide to pay it. And many times, and I've proven it, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it, I've ignored every single one of them and never, ever had any repercussions. I'm not recommending it to the faint of heart. Yes, and I haven't had that many. What were you going to say, Daphne?
Was it a rental car? It was a rental car.
Good question, Daphne. You know why? Because the rental car company, sometimes they will enforce that. They'll not enforce it like the law, but they'll make you pay it. Because
Well, they're actually charging us their own little fee for getting it.
Yep. But they're not going to pay that fee to the county, I don't think, are they?
No, that's just because, I guess, because we got it. I don't know.
No, it's the processing, because what happened was, since it was their license plate, it went to their processing center. They had to find out who rented at that time, and then they had to send it to you. That's why they charge you. They charge you for the office time.
So is the rental car agency coming after you for money, or is the state?
They're coming after her for the extra fee.
The rental company already charged us on our credit card.
How much did they charge you? How much did they charge you?
It was only $14.
Yeah.
They're only showing one of them.
Yeah,
and then in the mail we ended up getting 2. So I don't know.
My goodness. No, but they're charging you, and the rental car companies, they're actually within their rights. Think about it. They're charging you for the extra time it took. All right, William, are you the one that called earlier with the Home Depot problem?
Yes, I am.
What's going on, sir? What's going on?
What I need to try to find an attorney in the Springs, because I think I'm going to have to sue Home Depot.
Why?
Well, I ordered some appliances from them, had them installed. Some damage was done. They said I had to sue. I had to go after the.
Now wait a minute. What damage was done?
Well, the dishwasher, fix the hose on the dishwasher properly. And it came out.
Okay. Now,
flooded my kitchen, the downstairs, the sitting.
Now, William, usually you let your homeowners take care of it, and then they go after the party. Usually,
yeah. Well, I talked to mine, and they said if I do it through them, my insurance is going to go up for 5 years.
Well, you shouldn't be surcharged if this is the only claim you've had.
Oh, yeah, it's the only one.
Then it shouldn't be surcharged. That's a whole different option. Who's your insurance company?
My gosh, I'd have to look and see. I don't remember.
All right. By the way, that shouldn't happen, and if I were you, I'd switch. This is what I would do. I would switch over with Compass Insurance Group. If you've had it for a few years, save yourself some money, and then go put in a claim against the old company. That's the way I would do it. Now, William, as far as this goes, okay, who do you want to sue? Home Depot. Did Home Depot send their own people, or did they subcontract?
They subcontracted it.
That's who you want to go after.
Well, I tried it, and the company that he has for insurance, he told his insurance company I didn't install it. I just set it in the kitchen.
He lied.
Yeah, but in fact, I have a thing from Home Depot showing that we paid to have it installed.
I know, but did he install it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, do you have witnesses?
Me.
Man, this sucks. I never had a guy just flat out lie about it. So I would go against both of them, both Home Depot and him both. How much is it costing you?
Probably around $5,000.
Yeah, that'll be small claims court, and I would definitely do that. So what do you need to know?
Well, I just want to know if I needed an attorney or not.
Well, not for small claims court. It's $7,500 or less. Now, you can choose to get an attorney and go to county court, and that limit is $15,000. And even if it's less than that, you can still go to county court. You don't have to go to small claims court. The only reason people go to small claims court usually is to avoid attorneys. So if you want to sue both of them, you would fill it out, have them served, and sue them for however much it's going to cost. And that's the way I would go.
Oh, okay.
Now, as far as serving Home Depot, Dan, since we've been doing, so not we, but, we've been eyewitnesses to a lot of these, where do people sue? The registered agent in this state?
Right, I'm sure Home Depot has a registered agent down there.
So you have to sue the registered agent for Home Depot.
Did you have to sign an invoice, though, that he installed it?
Oh, definitely.
Well, then that's.
I think you have all the evidence you need. I would personally, I'd put in a homeowner's claim and avoid the problem. What is your deductible?
200 or 500.
Okay. I would do that and then sue them for the 500. Listen, William, do anything you want, but basically, I think that you're right and you're going to collect. John Fuller, Fuller Law, his website. personalinjuryco.com, personalinjuryco.com. Listen, if you're injured, just, don't try to do it alone. Just get a consultation no matter what. 303-597-4500, 597-4500.
Man, we have had here that.
Slow.
It's terrible. You know what? On Mondays from now on, we have to have people lined up.
We got to have them.
We had 3 lined up.
I had 3 people. Yeah, well, we had 3. I finally got a hold of the second one 2 hours after she was scheduled. The other gal that was scheduled never picked up. The other one you gave me never answered.
But I mean, Mondays seem to be